This is how you make the most advanced agents with a simple tech stack. Literally, we have 5 pieces, and it is super straightforward. Watch the training, and we're going to get this ball rolling. I will see you there. Like, comment, subscribe. I love you. I want to see you make a bunch of money. I want to see you live a successful life. I want the best for you. Genuinely and truly. This is building advanced agents without making it super complicated. Still powerful. Still super freaking awesome. But it doesn't have to be complicated. It shouldn't be. I already spent like 3,000 hours building this stuff. So you shouldn't have to. I would love to see the commitment, but I'm also going to give you the skills and the tools to make it happen way more efficiently than having to bang your head against a wall for 16 hours a day. Okay. Yo, what's up? It seems that people are still looking around to see where they can make the best advanced voice AI agents. And I'm like, guys, I've been told you. Look, it's right there. Yeah, as you know, Vapi is the best, and I'm going to break it down for exactly why. First things first, obviously, transparency. You can see everything that's going on with the voice AI assistant from one location, the dashboard. You can even listen to the voice AI from their main page. Like, as soon as you log in, go to vapi.ai. You can demo immediately. Super cool. Watch this. I actually might have to refresh my page because I have been sitting here
Welcome
for a
to
bit.
Vapi.
There she goes.
I'm an assistant that you can talk to like a person. So, how's your day going?
It's going great, girl. What's happening with you?
Not much, just here to chat and help you out. So, what can I do for you today?
I was wondering what's the difference between like some of the brain waves because I'm listening to beta waves right now, but I forget the difference between like beta and theta and alpha and delta and omega and all. What can you break down the brain waves for me?
Sure thing. Brain waves are pretty fascinating, aren't they? So, the brain produces different types of electrical waves at various frequencies, and they're associated with different states of consciousness and cognitive functions. Let me break it down for
Wow.
you. 1.
Anyways, you get the point. You can talk to the assistant straight from the dashboard or from the login page, which is cool. Speaking of the dashboard, let's go. You hit dashboard up in the top right corner, you'll go to the dashboard. First, you'll have to log in, which you can do with your email. Watch this. Log in with Google. Obviously, I already have some accounts. So I'll just click this button here and we're gone. On that note, I'm going to point out some things that are immediately important to know. Let me go to this. One, you can switch between organizations. This means you can separate your accounts with your friends' accounts, with your clients' accounts, with your other business accounts anytime you want. You can make as many organizations as you want, as many accounts logging in with the same email. Obviously, that's pretty dope. Second, the billing. You're billed per usage. That means you don't have to buy credits up front. You don't have to pay for anything until you're actually using the product, which is dope. Yes, there's a caveat here. If you're on the enterprise plan, you do get a discount for buying credits up front and you get additional call concurrency, which means you can do more calls at a time. But for the sake of this presentation, obviously, we're just talking about when you first log in, you can use the assistant as much as you want, and you only pay for what you use. You're going to say, hey, well, how much does it cost? On average, each Vapi assistant costs about 12 to 13 cents per minute, depending on your settings. The great thing about Vapi is you get to choose your own settings. I can switch the LLM out. This is the brain. OpenAI obviously is pretty popular, but I also have Grok. I also have Anthropic's Claude here. With Grok, there's the Llama, there's Gemma, so some open source models here. There's Mixtral, which is also pretty cool. So I have a lot of options with what brain I want to use inside of the assistant, which is sweet. You can see the cost breakdown, so I understand exactly why I am paying how much I am paying. Vapi takes 5 cents. DeepGram, which is the speech to text provider, that's how we transcribe the conversation. So we're speaking here. The AI is taking notes pretty much. There's the brain. That's costing me a penny. And then there's the text to speech. So when we want the AI to actually say something out loud, we have the voice provider Play HT costing about 6.5 cents. So that overall costs about 13 cents per minute. The latency, this is the delay in the responses that are coming back to the user, me in this case. On the web, it's a bit faster. So you use the web when you're doing demos, stuff like this, when I just want to talk to an assistant. I'll show you. It's connecting. There we go.
Hello, I'm Finn.
What's up, Finn? How are you?
Hey, um, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Just here, ready to help with all your.
Cool. All right. So if I want to just demo the voice immediately, I can hit talk to assistant. That's one way to talk to the assistant. If you want to see the delay when you're actually doing a phone call, which most often we are going to be using the assistant on the phone, Twilio and Vonage both come native with Vapi. You can import numbers straight from Vapi if you buy them on Twilio. And we'll do a deep dive on Twilio as well. But for now, this is the latency, imaginary latency, if this was happening over the phone. So you can see it's going to take about a second, almost a second and a half to do responses when we're talking on the phone. Plus, there's going to be another penny and a half about per minute from the Twilio cost. So again, 15 cents per minute with the most expensive voice provider, because I like PlayHT the best. It just works the best. That is how you can see the cost breakdown and control exactly what pieces you want to use inside of your AI. I'll break down a few more components on this dashboard. So the system prompt, this is where you give the instructions to the assistant in the same way you would prompt a custom GPT or any other OpenAI assistant. It's just prompting. You can put literally everything in the prompt. It's going to work pretty well if you can break down clearly what your goals are and what you need the AI to do. It's just like training a real person. You're just training an AI. You'll see some other buttons over here on the right panel. The knowledge base, you can upload files and then have the AI look into those files and read them. I find that if I upload my information straight to the prompt, it works a bit better, but the files can work for smaller sizes if you need to just to add some additional knowledge to the AI. I like to put a lot of the stuff straight into the prompt. Temperature. This is determining how random the AI is going to be in its responses. Zero point 0.7 is the default. It's pretty good. Max tokens determines what is the longest response the AI can have. 250 tokens, I believe, is about 100 words, give or take. And I usually just leave this to the default as well because it's fine. Detect emotion. Do you want the AI to be able to detect other emotions like anger, joy, etc., etc.? You can turn it on. It works pretty well. Great. Your first message, this is the very first message that the AI is going to say when the call connects. As you'll notice, she said, "Hello, I'm Finn." Watch. Come on, Finn. What is up with my Wi-Fi? It's probably my connection. I'm going to refresh the page real quick and see. Very interesting. I don't think I changed anything. Having some issues. Anyways, we'll keep looking at some of the other settings on here. Transcription. Again, this is how the AI is taking notes, pretty much putting what we're speaking into text so that it can send that information to the brain. The brain can interpret the conversation, reply with some text. That text goes to the speech provider, and the speech provider generates speech for us to talk back with. Deepgram is fine. You don't really ever have to change this. Unless you're speaking in another language, then you can change the languages here. So the AI will give you notes in different languages. Anytime you get confused about something, there's always these little question marks or icons, information icons all over the place. You can literally just like copy this, put it into Claude AI or GPT, and ask it to explain what this does. But also, if you go to this question mark down here and you need help creating an assistant, Vapi has full documentation of how everything works in their platform. You can click through it one by one and you will understand exactly what each of these pieces do, why they do it, and how it all works. This is what I just explained, right? The AI listens and takes notes. It sends those notes to the LLM, the brain, and the brain gives its response back to the speech provider, which lets it speak to us, and then we just go back and forth with the conversation. Not necessarily super important for you to understand how that works, but if you want to, it's all here. Also, any specific questions you have, Vapi has a built-in AI assistant that you can text and ask your questions to. Pretty cool. Let's go back to the dashboard. Your voice providers. You have access to a ton of voice providers, 11 Labs, which is one of the most popular, and all of their voices. And I mean all of their voices. A lot of them. Play HT, which is my favorite because it works the best. Tons of voices to choose from. Cartesia, tons of voices to choose from. Now you'll notice that the prices are all different based off of the components that you put into the model, right? So for Cartesia only cost me 2 cents. The latency is only 250 milliseconds. That might be a reason why you want to use Cartesia. PlayHT costs more, is a little bit, well, it's exactly the same speed, but I find that the voices are a bit more realistic, sound a lot better, smoother conversation. 11 Labs will actually allow you to professionally clone your voice with their software, and then you can bring your professionally cloned voice into the platform here. If you wanted to do that, your cloned voice would pop up right here on the right. That's if you do so choose to, too. You can bring any of your other providers into the platform by going down here to provider credentials. We'll cover that in just a minute. I don't want to skip ahead. We're going to keep going to the dashboard. So you pick your voice. You pick a voice that goes with it. This is just some random ones. Let's go with PlayHT. Melissa is fine. She's a professional businesswoman. Background sound. This is if you want there to be like office noises in the background to kind of build the ambiance. I'm going to leave this off for now. Input minimum characters. You don't really need to worry about this, but you can hover over the icon and look at it. I always just leave this to default. If you don't understand what something means, you really don't have to change it. The default settings are almost always going to be good settings for you to use. We'll cover a couple that I do like to change every time. Same thing with the punctuation boundaries. You really don't need to know too much about this, but if you want to learn more, just ask Vapi what is the punctuation boundary and why would you use it, or go to ChatGPT and explain, hey, I want to understand what punctuation boundaries are. Copy this, paste it in over there, ask your questions. Cool. Filler injection enabled. This will let the AI have like additional ums and ahs and other filler words added into the brain that gets injected into the speech before it gets sent to the voice provider so that it can respond with ums, ahs, and stuff like that. I don't like it. It doesn't really come off natural. If you want the voice to have like filler language inside of its conversation, just prompt it. Just tell it in the prompt, hey, speak with casual language, use filler words, sound natural. Cool. Same thing with back channeling enabled. This makes the AI say and ah and yeah while the user is speaking, like to active listen, right? Active listening. I don't think it sounds great. I always turn it off. Background noise, denoising enabled. Keep it on because it filters the background noise while the user is talking, and that helps the AI hear more clearly. PlayHT comes with some emotions. I like the emotions. I usually use female sad because it makes her speak softer without so much expression, and it's pretty realistic, but you can use any of the emotions. These are specific to PlayHT, so these settings are going to change based off of which voice provider you're using, right? Deepgram has no additional voice settings. Azure has only the speed that you can change. OpenAI also only has speed that you can change. 11 Labs has some interesting stuff. And if you're curious what any of this stuff does, you can just hover over the icon and it will explain it to you. So you never really have to be confused about what's going on. Just hover over an icon and the icon will tell you. All of these icons will tell you exactly what's happening. And for the settings, there's really no best setting. Each voice is going to act a little bit differently and sound a little different. So if you just play with the settings for long enough and understand what you're changing by looking at the icons, you can narrow into something that is pretty well functioning. And it's super easy to test because you change the setting, hit publish, and then talk with the assistant. 3-step process. Super easy. Okay. Functions. We will do a whole video solely dedicated to functions. These are tools. This is pretty much how the AI can take action, like looking up a calendar for its availability, scheduling appointments on that calendar, sending text messages, whatever else you can program with automations, you can trigger with the voice AI assistant. This is a whole video that we will dedicate strictly to tools, how to create them, why you would create them, what they're doing, but it means we have to go to some other platforms to build automations first, which is why we won't jump into that right now. But some predefined functions, so some tools that are built in, is you can always do call forwarding. Just put your phone number in here and the AI will forward the conversation to that phone number based off of when you put in the prompt. Like if you give instructions in the prompt for when to forward the phone, it will forward the phone when you reach that stage of the conversation. Just explain how and why you would use the phone forwarding in the prompt. Put your phone number there, and you have call forwarding set up. Super easy. Dial keypad is if you need the AI to navigate an IVR for some reason. End call function is if you want the AI to be able to end the call. I always leave these off because I don't really ever have to use them. But if you want to learn more, you can hit read more and read the documentation about exactly how it works. If you are still confused, you can ask the Vapi assistant. If you're still confused after that, you can copy all of this, paste it into Claude or ChatGPT, and ask it to explain it to you. That's how you learn. Just ask questions. You can even ask AI what questions you should ask AI. That might be getting a little too meta for you right now. We'll jump back into that when we start prompting. For now, let's keep rolling forward. Those are your tools. Let's hit the next page. Advanced. These are just some settings that you can change. Again, hover over the icons if you need some additional answers. If you don't know what HIPAA compliance is, you can Google it. But pretty much this is if you don't want to be collecting, or if you are having a conversation with users and the AI may be collecting private or sensitive information like health or medical records or even payment information, you might want to turn HIPAA on. That way we're not storing any transcripts or recordings on the Vapi servers, and you won't be legally compliant for holding other users' private information. Great. If you want to record the conversations, you can turn on call recording and you will get a recording of every conversation after the call. Again, make sure you're within compliance, you are getting permission to record calls, or you are at least announcing, hey, these calls are recorded. That's typically what we do just to maintain compliance. It's super great that you can manage all of these settings right within Vapi and you don't have to rely on the voice provider, or sorry, you don't have to rely on the software provider to store your records somewhere. You can actually see all of your call logs and you can manage whether or not you want to keep those call logs. This is for when you want to work with, like, again, healthcare. This is where you're going to mostly be concerned about HIPAA compliance. Video recording. Yes, you can embed Vapi into your video calls. That is a super advanced. We're not going to get there anytime soon. That is like way down the road, but it's super cool that you can do that. We're going to just keep moving forward. Some other things on the pipeline. Silence timeout. This is just how long will the AI wait before hanging up the phone if the user is inactive. So if the user is quiet for 120 seconds, the AI will just hang up. You can turn this up, you can turn it down. The default is usually pretty fine. Response delay. This is how long the AI will wait to respond back to the user after the user has finished speaking. 1 second is usually pretty good. Sometimes I'll turn it up. LLM request delay. This is how long will the AI wait to send a request to the brain to get a response back. Again, you can turn it up, you can turn it down. I like to keep it at a second. I would prefer the AI has more time to think and is certain that the person is done speaking so it doesn't cut them off before responding, more than I want the AI to just respond super quick. People value having a good conversation over just getting replied to super fast. Right. So I turn these up a little bit. Interruption threshold. I also turn the threshold up because this is how many words does the user have to speak before the AI will stop talking. So if the AI is rambling and the user tries to cut them off, the AI needs to hear at least 3 words from the user to be cut off. I like to turn this up to at least 3 words because background noise. Sometimes the AI thinks that somebody speaking in the background or other background sounds are user speech. And if you have this set to 1 or 2, then the AI is more likely to just cut itself off because it gets confused with the background noise. So I always turn it up to at least 3. Maximum duration. This is how long can the calls last. They can go up to an hour. They can be as little as 10 seconds. 30 minutes is a plenty long conversation, but I have had people talk to AI for up to 45 minutes. So do with that what you will. The longer conversations obviously cost you more because you're paying per minute. Smart endpointing. This is supposed to let the AI be smart about detecting when the speech has ended, like when the user has stopped speaking. It doesn't work super great yet, in my opinion. It's pretty new. It's only been out for about 2 weeks. So right now it's off, but eventually it will get better. Awesome. Now the server URL and all of this stuff happening here, except for the idle messages, the server URL we will also dedicate a whole video on its own too. All you need to know now is at the end of the conversation, you can send reports to your server so you can store the transcript, the call recording, call outcomes, the summary of the call, cost breakdowns, all of that kind of stuff. You can store that on your CRM or in a spreadsheet somewhere by sending the end of call report to the server URL. We will set that up in a couple videos. For now, it's nothing that you need to worry about. Just know that we will be able to send our end of call report to a specific server. Awesome. Also, when we're doing tool calls, we'll also get into server URLs because we're sending a request to a server that's going to trigger an automation. We'll get into that. It's a bit more advanced, but it's super powerful, and we will cover that thoroughly. Don't worry about it. Alrighty. If you want the AI to leave a voicemail, if the person doesn't answer, voicemail setting, you can change the voicemail. Super cool. End of call message. If you want the AI to say something when it hangs up the phone, you can do that. I really don't ever use this, and sometimes I'll use a voicemail. Depends. We do multi-call campaigns, so I'll trigger a lot of calls to go out, and then we'll usually record our own voicemails that get dropped when the AI reaches a voicemail. Cool. Select idle messages. If the user stops speaking, the AI will say one of these messages to try to re-engage the user. I don't think they sound very natural, so I don't use this, but you can, and you can adjust the settings here. How long does the AI wait before saying one of its messages? How many times can the AI try to re-engage the user? Again, I don't use these, but if you want, they're there. Last but not least, we have the analysis tab. So like I was mentioning, there's an end of call report that you can send to your server at any time. You can also see this end of call report directly inside of the call logs of Vapi, which we'll check out in just a second. Some information that you can send with the end of call report is a call summary. If you want a very specific call summary, you can put a prompt in here that tells the assistant how you want to be collecting that summary. There's an example right here that you can read. If you want to adjust the summary for something else, feel free to. Success evaluation. And again, all of this stuff is described here, so you can read it over, and there's also examples. But the success evaluation is a predetermined metric for figuring out how successful a call is. So if you prompt the AI to be looking for specific indicators and you say, I want to rate the success of this call on a scale 1 to 10, it'll give you a response 1 to 10 based off of what you prompted to be looking for here. Same thing, I could change it to pass fail, which is just true or false. I could change it to a percentage. I could have it check look at a checklist and just determine if specific criteria was checked off throughout the call, all of that kind of information. Super convenient for when you want to easily see what happened during a call at the end of the call without having to listen to the whole recording or read the whole transcript. If you just want to be able to quickly glance and see, did the checklist get filled out, or how good was the call, these are great settings to be playing with, and just use the prompt. Cool. Structured data. So structured data is if you want to be tracking specific properties during the call. So say I'm collecting the user's name. If the AI is asking the user's name during the call, I could put a property here that says name and a description that says the user's full name. And at the end of the call, I will be able to simply look at the property here. I'll see name and I'll see the user's name filled in. If I want that required, if I want it to be collected during every call, I'll just hit mark as required. You need to put this step inside of your prompt for the assistant though. So if you want the assistant to collect the user's name, you need the assistant to ask for their full name, right? And then you'll easily be able to find their full name in your end of call report. Awesome. Other things, right? Appointment start date time. If there's an appointment that is being booked, I want to see the start date time super conveniently. I want to see what happened on the call. So the call outcomes could be the person was interested, the person was not interested, the person transferred to another department, the person told us to F off and curse us out, which would be do not disturb. The phone call wasn't answered if this is an outbound call. The phone call went to voicemail. Again, outbound phone calls. All of those call outcomes, you need to describe in the prompt how to determine what the call outcome was and what are the options for the call outcome. Just explain. This is all prompting AI assistants. So if you are confused about how to prompt, just go to ChatGPT or go to Claude and ask. Say, hey, I need to be able to determine the call outcome for conversations that are happening with my voice AI assistant. The users might be interested in buying our product and transfer to another department to buy. They might be interested, but they didn't transfer. They might not be interested. When we call them, sometimes they just don't answer. Sometimes they tell us to never call them again, that kind of stuff. And then tell the AI, hey, can you please give descriptions for how to determine the call outcome and give us some labels for what that call outcome is. That's all you do. I'm going to give you an example here because I think it'll help kind of solidify what I was just saying. So let's go to Fin. Let's go to call outcomes. Here, analyze the call transcript for a confirmed appointment date time and categorize the call outcome as one of the following. Hot lead with a description of how to determine hot lead. Follow-up with a description for how to determine follow-up. Not interested with a description for how to determine not interested. You get the point. When the call is over, I will be able to look at the call outcome and see what happened by the end of the call. Where can I see this? It'll get sent to the server URL, which we'll do a whole video on when we're integrating into the CRM. But also you can go to call logs and you can see this same information here on the call reports. If I click one of the calls, I'll click this one. I can, excuse me. I clicked on the phone number on accident. If I click, you'll see the call log come up. There's a recording of the conversation. There's a transcript of the conversation. Obviously, this was not a real conversation. There's an analysis of the conversation, which we were just reviewing. Analysis, this is the summary, success evaluation. This call was too short, so nothing will be filled in here. There's the call outcomes. DNA did not answer. You can see the back and forth messages with the assistant and the person. This is the prompt for the assistant. And then you can see the messages. And you can see the call cost breakdown. So exactly why the call cost as much as it did and the breakdown. Sometimes this is a little inaccurate because I know for sure that this didn't cost me 4 cents. It was a 5-second conversation. All right. If I look for a longer one, like the 76-cent call, this is going to be a good example. You will be able to see the call recording. There are logs here, and you can just see kind of the timestamps for when these things happened. The call recording is loading. It's probably closer to like an 8-minute call. Here's a transcript of the conversation, the analysis of the conversation. Oh, yep, here's a call recording. Yep, 8-minute call. I'm a genius. uh, Here's a summary of the conversation, a success evaluation. I just have true false set up right now. And then I can see what happened during the conversation. So this person was a hot lead, and they booked an appointment for October 1st, 2024 at noon. Cool. All right. Messages, call cost, you get the point. Your call logs, you can see the history of all of the conversations that have happened on this platform. That's your call logs. API requests and webhooks, these are new tabs here. This is if you want to see like what requests you're making to your assistants with the API. You don't really need to worry about this for now. You'll never have to look at this. Like, it's just for your own curiosity. If you want to see a report of your webhook requests and your API requests, you don't really need it. You can see all of the conversations themselves from within the call logs. Awesome. We have a couple other tabs here on this page. We have the voice library. If you want to easily switch between voice providers and test out all of the different voices that you can choose from, you can go to the voice library, switch your settings around, choose the gender, choose the accent. In some cases, you can even choose the language and easily filter define a voice that fits your use case. Super convenient. You can see all of the voices available across like 8 different providers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe. A lot of options to choose from, and you can filter based off of what you're looking for. Again, PlayHT and 11 Labs are my favorite. I hope DeepGram gets better. That would be exciting. Okay, some other tabs in here. Again, we went over assistants and everything that assistants has to offer. You also have phone numbers. This is where you can import your phone number from Twilio or Vonage. You can also buy a phone number directly from Vapi. I always just import from Twilio because on Twilio it costs $1.15, and you can also do like compliance registration to help your number stay compliant and not go to spam. Other information like that. We'll cover Twilio in depth in another video as well. Maybe you might have already seen that video or it's coming up. We'll see. Anyways, Twilio, when you want to import your number, you just go to the main dashboard, like your main page on Twilio. You'll see your account SID, copy and paste. You'll see your auth token right under the account SID, copy and paste. It's literally on the main page as soon as you log in. You can label the phone number whatever you want, and you just pick which of your Twilio phone numbers you want to use. Again, it's super easy. Just go log into Twilio. After you buy a phone number, you can copy and paste this information and import the phone number. You can import as many phone numbers as you want. Cool. This takes 2 minutes. If you don't have a Twilio account already, it takes maybe 5 minutes because you have to put payment on with Twilio to buy a phone number. Okay, cool. They actually give you $15 of demo time also, but anywho. This is the phone number that I have set up. If I want an inbound assistant, so anytime a person calls this number, if I want an inbound assistant to answer that, an AI assistant set to my inbound phone number, I can just select the AI that I want to use here. I'll train it with assistants, then I can connect it to a phone number. It is that easy. I now have Finn taking inbound phone calls to this phone number. If I want to test the outbound phone numbers, I can put my phone number in the outbound section, pick an assistant, and hit outbound call, and that assistant will call my phone. It is that easy to trigger inbound calls and outbound calls with Vapi. So you can do your testing. If you want to be able to send calls to a list of users, or if you want to send automated calls that go out on a scheduled basis, that's something that we'll set up in Go High Level, or you could set up with a spreadsheet and Make. We'll do it in Go High Level because Go High Level has everything built inside of its platform already. Automations, websites, contact logs to keep all your contacts, opportunities and pipelines. So it is just really cost effective to do everything in one platform. Right. Okay. That's setting up your phone numbers. Super easy. Your files, if you want to import a PDF or a text file to attach to Assistant, you can attach it here in Files. This is your knowledge base. I usually put the knowledge base directly in the prompt again, but do what you will. Your tools. We will dedicate a whole video specifically just to tools. You can create tools here and we'll cover exactly how to do that. Uh, we'll cover all the options. Super powerful. This is what allows your AI to start taking action during the phone call. So this is mid conversation. The AI can take action. Super cool. Blocks, new feature that really you won't have to use. You can do everything with the prompt. The blocks are only here for if you need to be able to do like logic trees, but more often than not, if you can prompt and clearly communicate what you need the assistant to be doing, um, you can do everything inside the prompt. But we'll cover this in its own video once this feature is a little bit more functional. Squads. Squads is super cool. So the squads allow you to transfer phone calls to other AI assistants that you have trained. So if you have all of your assistants here on this platform, look, I have 3 assistants. I could transfer between each of these assistants to each other. For example, my first assistant might be a receptionist that just answers the phone and then could transfer to Department A for sales or Department B for customer support. So the receptionist just gets the user's information, sees why they're calling, will then either transfer them to Department B, the other assistant that's handling the sales department, or the customer engagement department or customer support department. And the AI assistant that is trained to handle customer support. So it allows you to break out the functionality of each assistant a bit more, which makes it way. It makes it easier to be able to train an assistant that can specifically handle its task, instead of trying to pack all of the functionality into one assistant. If you kind of give each assistant its own function, the performance is even better because the assistant doesn't have to think about all of the stuff it has to do. It just has to do one thing really well. So that's why squads are super dope. That is everything on the dashboard. Now, a couple other settings that you might be mindful of is you have a profile setting where you can change your password, delete your account if you need to. You have your organization tab, which is where you can switch between organizations. I'm going to go back to this new one. You have your billing tab where you can update your payment information and you can see how much you've used each month. You can also set a monthly billing limit. So if you don't want to spend more than $100 a month or $50 a month or $1,000 a month, you can update your billing limit here. Actually, let me go back to. You can see exactly also how much you have spent on a day-to-day basis when you. Let me just switch real quick. This is loading, but typically you'll see the day-to-day payments broken down right here in this tab. Maybe if I refresh the page. Anyways, usually there's the daily log of how much you have spent each day down here. Cool. Some other information that you can see here on the page is your member setting. You can add members to your account. So I think it's having a hard time because I'm switching back and forth between the my different organizations quickly. Anyways, here you can add members to your team. This is if you want to add a friend or add one of your clients or your client needs to add you. You can add members to an organization from the members tab. It's not going to add, here we go. It's not going to add them to your entire account. It'll just add them to the organization that you're under. So I can add a new member, give them a role, invite them, and then they can log in with their email. Cool. Settings. You'll never really have to use your settings. There's some advanced stuff that you can do with the server URL, which I'll show you later when we want to set up something cool with the inbound assistant. But we won't cover that right now because you really don't need it. Organization ID, this is where you can find your org ID. You can increase the call concurrency limit, but you do need to get an enterprise plan to do so. Default is 10, which is pretty good for most use cases. Your API keys. This is your private key that you will be using. It's like your password to do API calls, which is how we trigger outbound calls from an external platform. That's usually why we're doing it. We want to automate the outbound phone calls. We'll do that with the API key. This is a private key. Do not share this with anybody or they will be able to use your assistance without your permission. We're not going to expose this, and we can cover that more when we want to integrate the AI with our CRM and do outbound calls. Just know that we can automate any of these calls to happen from any platform. We can trigger calls from Make. We can trigger calls from Go High Level. Pretty much anywhere where we can set up an automation, we can trigger a phone call, as long as they can make API requests or HTTP requests. We'll cover that more in depth. And your provider credentials. Last but not least, this is where you can bring in your own providers, your own API keys. So if you have a super discounted PlayHT for some reason and you don't want to be charged by Vapi, Vapi covers these costs for you, so you don't have to add anything here. But if you want to bring like a custom voice from 11 Labs, you'll have to go to 11 Labs and clone your voice, and then you'll put your API key into the 11 Labs slot here, and you'll be able to access your custom cloned voices. You can do the same thing for your AI providers. Like you could bring your OpenAI key if for some reason you wanted to use, like not have Vapi cover the cost for you and you wanted to pay directly to OpenAI, you can. Vapi already covers it, so you really don't need to do this. If you have a custom LLM that you're bringing, again, you can bring your own brain to AI. That's an advanced concept. You really don't necessarily need it for most use cases. If you can just prompt well enough, you can get the full functionality for 90% of your use cases. I would go as far to say for 95% of your use cases, 99% of your use cases, you do not need a custom LLM. I promise you, you do not. Okay, but sometimes you want to bring it anyways. Cool. The other transcription providers, yeah, you can bring your own API keys if you want to. You really don't have to do any of this stuff. I'm going to show you how to hook these accounts up. And again, Vapi covers like all of the costs. So that's cool. Anyways, let us move forward. The last piece I want to show you in this video is the extensiveness of the documentation. You can see everything that Vapi has to offer in the documentation. You can see how Vapi works. You can see their pricing breakdown. You can see why you might want to switch to the enterprise plan. You can see their support that they offer in the Discord channel. Discord has a lot of active users, so honestly, I would go to Discord if you have support questions because people are there who will be willing to help. They also have examples of how to build assistants. What is function calling? Again, we're going to do a whole video on this, so hang tight, but you can go start to do some research now. Look at the server URL. Again, we'll do a whole video on this, but you can start to do your research now. Ask the Vapi assistant for any questions that you have. There's even some support on how to integrate this with your CRM, with Go High Level, with Make, with whatever you need to do. Who is that? Look at that handsome fella. Look at that guy. If you want an extensive breakdown on how to connect your assistant to Make and Go High Level, you can go watch this video by yours truly. I forgot I was there. That's pretty cool. Anyways, there's a community of people who want to help and see you succeed. So yeah, we're here to help and see you succeed. Go watch the video. I'm going to remake all of these videos. I'm going to go step by step through every single piece of how to train the best advanced AI agents. So we'll cover prompting. We'll cover the function calling, the tools. We'll cover how to make API calls. We'll cover how to hook this up into your CRM. We'll cover use cases and when and why you want to train a voice AI assistant. We'll cover literally everything as far as building the agents. We're going to cover step by step. So hang tight, subscribe, ask your questions, and actually, I do have a neat little surprise for you guys. We'll cover this API documentation another time too, but here's how you're triggering automated calls. I promise it's not super hard. Like there's only three things you need to trigger a call. You need the assistant ID, you need the phone number ID. Here, I'll show you. Assistant ID. We'll just put that as one right now. You'll need an assistant ID. You will need a phone number ID. And you will need your customer information. So this is the phone number that you want to call out to. And you will need the name of the person. With this simple HTTP request, I can trigger automated calls with my assistant. The assistant ID you can find after you train the assistant. Your assistant ID is right here. I can just copy that and paste it in. The phone number ID, same thing. If I just go to the phone number after I import it, I'd have to go to a different account that has a phone number to show you, but I'll do that real quick. This phone number has an ID. I could copy that and import it. So I'd also want to get an assistant from the same account. The assistant ID, the phone number ID. This is your phone number ID. And then the name and number of the caller that you want to call out to. That's done. The only other piece of information you need is your bearer token. So this is bearer and then your API key. So again, that's the secret password that I told you never to share with anybody. API key. It's going to load here. If I put that bearer key here in the authorization, I could actually do a test call right now and call myself automatically. If I want to do this inside of Make, again, go watch that video where I break this down fully, but I could just put this information into my automation, go to the HTTP request, make it a post request with the URL we want to call, put in the header, authorization, bearer, your API key, the header with content type, the value is application JSON, the raw body, this is a raw JSON body. I could just copy and paste this in to Make, and that would trigger a phone call. It takes literally 5 minutes to set up at most, and it's not super complicated. Again, if you have any questions about how to do this, go watch that video. I actually break this all down extensively. All right. We're going to set up a Twilio account. That way you can connect a phone number to your voice AI agent and make calls with it. You can set up this for inbound or outbound, and we're going to cover everything you need to know about setting up your Twilio account. Super easy. It's going to take like 2 seconds. So let's jump right in. All right. Go to Twilio, log in, like I'm doing right now. Yay. Logged in. When you log in, you're going to have to sign up first, but you're going to do the same thing I just did pretty much. I want to cover some information here. Yes. All right. When you log in, oh, actually, I'm not going to cover this stuff because this is my demo account. Perfect. You will see your account up here, and you're going to see a number that says you have some test credits. You have like $15 worth of test credits. I would just go ahead and purchase your phone number now. It's super easy to do so. You'll just go down to phone numbers. Here, let me move this. On the left dashboard panel, you'll see phone numbers, manage, active numbers. If I don't have any active numbers, I can hit buy a number. And I'll have a list of a bunch of numbers that I could buy. I'm going to buy one. Let's see. Let's do a number that has 888 somewhere in it. Anywhere in the number. Let's see. Oh, I actually don't like toll-free numbers. So the differences between some of these numbers here, I think it would probably be important to go ahead and explain that. Toll-free numbers are not local numbers, so they have a different process for being able to verify whether or not you can send text messages with them. You want to get a local number because we are going to also be using the text message to automate text messages. Also, AI agent text messaging will be setting up with the same phone number. So go ahead and just get a local number now. That way we can also do your A2P registration. A2P is just how we get verified to be able to send text messages. So I'm going to buy a local phone number here. Where do we want to be from? I'm actually going to buy a LA number. 231, just because I feel like it. I am not in LA. I am on the East Coast, but a lot of people are in LA, and it's a pretty popular area code, so it's well recognized. Oh, not 231, 213. My bad. 213. There we go. All right. I try to find the numbers that just stand out to me as like easy to say. 213 277 8384. That's pretty good. Ooh, 5333. I also like angel numbers, obviously. So 213-289-5333. I'm going to buy that one. I hit buy. If you want to read this stuff, you can. I'm not going to, but this lets you know A2P 10DLC registration is required for US messaging. So if you want to send text messages, you need a local number and you'll need to set up your registration. We're going to do that in this video. All right. I agree. I buy the phone number. The phone number is purchased. Actually, we'll probably do that in a later video when we want to set up automated text messaging. That makes probably more sense. Frick it. We're here. Let's just do it. This is initiate your A2P 10DLC registration. If you hit initiate, you're going to get taken to a next page. And this is going to ask you, please switch to the main account and complete your A2P 10DLC registration. Okay, I'm on a sub account, so I would need to set this up from there. So again, actually, we're not going to do this right now because I'll show you in another video. Because I've already registered with the other account, and it would just be easier to do this again later. All right, when you want to send text messages, we'll set up your A2P messaging. That's going to come when we integrate with the CRM anyways, so we'll save this for integrating in the CRM. Right now, it's just kind of a distraction, obviously, because I'm getting distracted. Okay, active phone numbers. You can see I now have a phone number set up. Look at that. Bada boom, bada bing. I can call this number and nothing's going to happen because it's not going to connect anywhere. But if I want it to connect somewhere, I can take it, copy, go to Vapi, hit import. I'm on the phone numbers tab in Vapi. So I went to my dashboard. I went to phone numbers right there. Import. Here's your Twilio number. Now if I go back to the main page, hit Twilio home. Oh no, this is not the right page. If I hit, I just want to see this account. View sub accounts. I don't want all the sub accounts, just one. Okay. I'm back on the main page of my sub account. This is the account name and the account password. You do not want to share your account name and your account password. But since I just made this demo account for this reason exactly, it's okay because I'm going to delete this as soon as we are done anyways. So my account SID, I can paste here. My account auth token, I can copy and paste here. I don't want to expose the whole thing, so I'm just trying to be a little sly about it. There we go. Boom. And I can label the phone number. This is phone number 1. Hit import. And it's just loading for a second. Yeah. I, again, am going to delete this stuff. Don't expose your SID and your auth token. For me, it's fine because I am going to do the delete thing. Oh, I hit cancel. My bad. It's probably my fault. Mea culpa. Mea culpa. That's my apologies in Latin. Phone number 1. Phone. All right. Import from Twilio. My internet is pretty slow right now, probably because I have too much stuff running on it. Let me just refresh one time, and we should be all right. Yeah, things are loading slowly. I have Loom running. I have my phone on it. I have another laptop on it so I can listen to. What am I listening to? Beta. I'm listening to beta brainwaves right now. Oh no, that's yeah, it is running. I'm gonna switch my Wi-Fi here. I'll put the other laptop on my hotspot. Go. All That should free up some space over here. Oh. And then it disconnected my phone. Ruh-roh. All right, there we go. Hit import. Why? Oh. Maybe it's the spaces? I don't know. What's going on here? SID. Okay. Easy enough. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Label. Now I have a phone number inside of Vapi. If I want an assistant to be attached to this phone number from here, I can just select the assistant. Now Finn has an inbound phone number. Super easy. That is how you import a phone number from Twilio. If you want to buy a phone number, you have to add your card details, and it costs you $2. I do everything from Twilio because I have more control from Twilio. And also, we're going to set this same number up inside of our CRM, which means we need to buy it from Twilio. And we're going to use this same number for our text messaging assistant, which we'll get to later. So go ahead and just get a Twilio account. It takes no time at all to sign in, buy a phone number. What you'll see here on Twilio now is when I'm getting a phone call, it is connected to Vapi. When you call this number, it's going to go to the Vapi inbound phone call because we just imported it into Vapi. And that happens automatically. Super cool. That is all for Twilio for now. The only other pieces that I'm going to recommend are going to your Trust Hub registration. And that is pretty much setting up your other additional compliance. So when we want to register for texting, we'll do the A2P 10DLC registration, which we'll get into in its own video. When we want to set up caller ID, you just go to your Trust Hub. You'll set up a customer profile. If I create a secondary profile. And I'm not going to do this right now because I already have a profile set up for my business account. But when you set up a profile, it is super simple. Just put in your business name and the address of your business stuff. The next page is going to ask you for your EIN. Here, I can actually just show you what's going to happen on each page. Put in your business information. Cool. Put in your business type. Hit direct customer because you're a direct customer. You're not reselling. So LLC, your industry, whatever. Your registration type. This is your EIN number. Where you plan on servicing the market, and your business website. Ideally, this business website matches whatever domain you're using for your email as well. That does help. Oops. There, just a filler for now. Put in your information. This is just an authorized point of contact. This is somebody who works at the business that you're registering for. I would put my information in here. Typically, cool. This next page is the person who's going to actually get notified whether or not this approval happens. So, if it's you setting this up, you're probably the one who wants to be notified. And then you can fill out the terms and service policy. Read, click, hit next. You're good. You just create a secondary profile. It's going to take about a minute to get approved. And if it doesn't approve you, it'll explain why, and you might have to reach out to support. But if it usually does approve you, if you're running your own business, you'll get approved and you'll be able to set up your Twilio information. The reason we're doing this is because I want to set up stuff that helps keep us out of spam. So after I create that secondary profile, I'll be able to do my additional registrations. You'll notice here. If I go back to overview, you can read what they do. Shake and stir registration helps increase the answer rate of your calls because it's going to reduce the likelihood of your number being marked as spam. If you do the A2P messaging, this is going to let you do text messages with the phone number. If you do your voice integrity, this is going to, again, help ensure that you're not mislabeled as spam or blocked in the future. And you can register for all of these for free. These are all free registrations. So shake and stir, you just want to hit enable, select the profile. So after you create that secondary business profile, you can register. Same thing with the voice integrity. You just register, select your business profile. Use cases, just like what are you using the phone calls for. Put in the rest of this information. Super straightforward, easy. The name of this stuff also does not really matter, but if you fill this out, it's going to reduce your likelihood of going to spam. Not hard. CNAME registration. Same thing. This is the display name. So this is the name that actually shows up on the phone. So demo business. This is what will pop up when I'm calling out with my AI number. This is the number that's going to pop up on the caller ID. The business profile is the business profile that we just went and set up. Again, I didn't actually set it up, but you get the point. Register the phone number. You just choose which phone numbers you want to register. To do this might look a little confusing because you didn't see any numbers pop up here. When you are on your customer profile, after you create it, you're going to see a button that lets you connect phone numbers to this customer profile. So I'd have to hit that button. But again, I'm not actually going to create this profile because I already have a profile for my business. I might as well show you that real quick, actually. That would probably be a convenient way to do this. Trust. Customer profiles. You'll see I have a profile. If I want to assign phone numbers, I can just go to assign phone numbers and assign some phone numbers. Assign more, and it's going to let you select from the numbers that are already on your Twilio account. Cool. CNAME registration. I've obviously already done this. I have a caller ID set up. Shake and stir. I've obviously already done this, but I'm less likely to go to spam. Voice integrity, I've already done this, so I'm less likely to go to spam. And branded calls, I will actually be setting this up very soon because you must be a brand using outbound voice services for at least 6 months in production. And wahoo! I am well beyond 6 months in production at this point. So I actually can register for branded calling, which is going to just increase the answer rates by displaying the business's name on the called party cell phone after the business passes verification. So this is like another level to CNAME registration, like caller ID registration. I think it just covers more phone providers and is just it's just another level of, it's just another level of compliance so that you are even less likely to go to spam. So all of these things really do the same thing. It just helps helps increase your answer rate because you look like a trusted phone number that you're calling from. And that is why we do this. So that's your Twilio Trust Hub, your compliance. And anytime you want to go there, just type in Trust Hub in the messaging up here. If you need to add somebody to your account, so if you're not the one who's doing this by yourself, but you need somebody else to be added as well, and you don't want to give them your login information, they should just be able to log in as a member. You can go up here to users. Ooh, is it admin? Yeah, go up here to admin. Go to account management. And now don't go to Twilio admin. Go to account admin. You don't want to add somebody to your whole organization. You just want to add somebody to your account. Go to account admin, go to account management, and you'll see I can manage users. I can add users to this account if I want to invite other people. All right, that's it. Put their email in, select their role, add them. Now their email can log into this account. Cool. That's it. That is literally all for Twilio. You now, if you followed the steps, bought a phone number, and you have imported it into Vapi, and you've also set it up so that you are less likely to go to spam. It is that easy to set up a phone number with Vapi. We will cover A2P messaging, which is how you can enable text messages to be sent from that phone number when we start to integrate things into our Go High Level account or any other CRM or any other automation that you want to use to send text messages. Awesome. Okay, I changed my mind again. It makes a lot of sense to just go ahead and do A2P now. So let's go ahead and set this up so that we can do text messaging. Pick a phone number. It doesn't matter. Just click on any of the phone numbers you have in here. As long as it's a local phone number, you'll probably only have one. It's just the easiest way to get to initiate A2P. So go back to active numbers, click a number, and then hit initiate A2P. Cool. Here we go. It is loading. It's loading, and it is loaded. I obviously already have some stuff set up. You're going to see on this page, it's going to want you to create a customer profile. A brand is what it's called. Super easy. Won't take long to set up. I'll click on mine so you can kind of see what information I have in here. But yeah, create your brand. It's a low volume standard campaign if you aren't sending that many text messages. It's a mixed volume campaign if you're sending a lot of text messages. That's all I can tell you as far as your brand. Your campaigns. This is a campaign that's connected to that brand. This campaign is set up to do text messaging at a low volume, and here's like the sample messages that I gave Twilio to be able to register for this account. We're gonna go through and register, but this is like not crazy difficult to do once you understand what you're doing. I'm gonna try to go through step by step with the new account real quick here. Let's figure it out. Register additional campaigns because I want to register for the sub account that we just set up, the demo account. I have a brand. You'll see some campaign uses, right? Low volume mixed. The different amounts are going to cost you different amounts. Mixed is if you're doing a higher volume. If you expect to be sending a lot of text messages, just go with mixed. Create new messaging service. And then this information is typically why people don't actually get their A2P registration completed. But if you just hit learn more, it explains to you what you need to put into the messaging and how to pass the examples. It literally gives you an examples of what is good, what is bad. This is the hardest part of the A2P registration, is just following the instructions for how to do this section, the campaign registration. Again, if I switch customer profile, no. I want to try to walk through this from the beginning. Yeah, so profile needs, no, it won't let me go back. Sorry guys, I can't show you like what I did to set up my customer profile. It's not hard. Oh, I did show you that already with the secondary profile we're creating. That same kind of information is what we use to create the main profile. So you're going to be creating a primary profile because you probably aren't doing this with a sub account to start. But you already saw that. The brand was also very similar. I just put in some basic information about what I was using the phone numbers for. And now the campaign registration is how we actually register for the A2P messages. I'm going to give you a document. Hold on. Here it is. Just select your use case. Like I said, mix is a good mix. Create new message service. That's fine. This is the information that you can put in for your messaging. Just your company name, your company name, your company name, and just explain what you're using the message for. If you need some other examples, they have examples in here. You can pause and read this. I'm going to move forward. Some sample messages so they can see, okay, what is the type of message you'd be sending? Again, replace the name with an actual name. Replace the company name with your company name. Please don't use these placeholders. Replace this with your actual information. Awesome. If you need some more examples, here's examples. This is how I set up every single A2P campaign, and I literally am always approved within 48 hours, which is impressive because a lot of people run into problems with this. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but how do end users consent to receive messages? This is actually also usually where people mess up. Here's the message I use. End users opt in by visiting website and filling in their details. They check a box to receive notifications and promotional messages, and we provide content. We don't really have to use an opt-in keyword or opt-in message, right? These aren't required because I don't do any sort of like text to opt-in campaigns. If I wanted to do that, then I do have a document here that explains like, well, you could just put this message in. And your keyword could be subscribe, start, whatever. Again, unless you're doing some sort of like text to subscribe campaign, you don't really need this, and it's optional. This is legitimately why most people mess up, because they don't actually explain how customers can opt in to receive messages. Read this message, understand this message, and you will be perfect every single time. You do need to actually provide a real website, and yes, they will actually check the website. All you need on your website is a box that lets people opt in with messaging to explain, hey, if you opt in, we're going to be able to send text messages and stuff like that to you. I'll give you an example. Here's an example of an opt-in box. So if I wanted to sign up for a Twilio A2P registration with a website, I'd replace the website link here with wherever my opt-in box is, which is right here. So I'd just copy my website link, and I'd make sure that my website has a page that has collects information, right? There should be a phone number block on here. There's no phone number here, so this is a little wrong. But first name, last name, phone number, email, if you want it. And then a checkbox that says, I agree that by providing my information, I consent to receive communications from this business. That is all they're looking for. They want to see that people can opt in on your website. So just explain how people opt in and what they're opting in for. They can provide a link. This doesn't have to be your main website page either. This could be a opt-in funnel, right? You could send the landing page to the funnel where you collect contact information and are allowing people to opt in to receive messaging to you. So wherever you collect your opt-in, that's the website link you should be using. Again, this learn more box explains exactly how to do it. Boom. And if you follow this process, you will be able to send text messages within 48 to 72 hours. That is A2P registration. Super straightforward. Again, I've seen a lot of people run into issues here. There's no need for it. Just read and follow the examples. Cool. That is A2P. Continue with the rest of the video. Love you. All right, y'all. This is everything you need to know about Go High Level. Go High Level is awesome. It has like everything built into it. This is your CRM for tracking your clients. This is how you can track your opportunities in the pipeline. You can trigger automations inside of Go High Level. So you can also make funnels, websites. You can post from your social media. You can send text messages and emails to your clients. You can literally do like 90% of what a business needs to do all from within Go High Level. So that's why we use it. Log into the app and you'll be good to go. I am going to log in here. This is not the right account, so let me log out. Okay. I'm going to log in with Google. Pick your organization. Obviously, I have a lot. You won't have this many. Boom. We're logged into my agency dashboard. The agency dashboard is set up, but what you need is a sub account. The reason you use a sub account is because that's where you actually manage your clients, your contacts, all of that. Agencies are able to set up multiple sub accounts. So if you want to create monthly recurring revenue by bringing on other users into sub accounts, you can set that up. That's not what we're here to do. We're not selling a SaaS here. You can, but that's not what we're up to. You need to create a sub account. When you create a sub account, you can go to sub accounts. You can hit create sub account, and you can start with a snapshot. If you are part of my program, you already have the snapshot that is the template. But if you are just starting your Go High Level from scratch, no sub accounts, no templates, you just have a blank snapshot. We're going to start with a blank snapshot so I can walk you through what needs to be done to set your account up. And then we'll go over exactly what's happening inside of Go High Level, all of the things you need to know. I'm going to add account manually. I'm just going to put some default values in here. This is new demo. I'm just going to drop my email in here, at quityourday.com. Business name. We'll just put new demo. 1. Yeah, 0. So again, put your actual information in here. I'm just putting placeholders. EST. Did I pass it? It's up here. Yeah. America, New York. I am blind. I must be blind because, oh, here it is. All right. America, New York. There we go. All right. Boom. You just created a sub account. Fill in your actual information. Don't be like me. All right. Switch to the sub account. We are in. Okay. So this is everything that Go High Level has inside of it. It has a dashboard where you can view from a high level what's going on inside of your account. Go high level from a high level, whatever. Launchpad. You really don't need to use this anytime after you have already integrated a lot of your business stuff, your other accounts, external platforms. You'll never be clicking on Launchpad. Dashboard is, again, where you can see what's happening inside of your account, like where your opportunities are moving, what's happening in your funnels, whatever else. If you have any tasks, good place to be. Don't really use it too much though. Conversations. This is where you can actually manage conversations with your contacts. So you can send emails and text messages and WhatsApp messages and phone calls all from Go High Level. So you could manage the conversations with your clients inside of this account. Cool. Calendars. You can integrate your Outlook calendar or your Google Calendar right inside of Go High Level so you can manage a lot of your calendar activities from this platform as well. We'll do a deeper dive on calendars in just a minute. Contacts. This is where you can import your contact list or add new contacts. This is where you can actually manage the contacts themselves, see all of the information, the notes that you've stored on contacts, etc. We'll get in here in a moment again. Opportunities. This is where you can track the opportunities that you have. It's pipelines. If you've ever used any sort of CRM like Salesforce or HubSpot, this is where you track this is your pipeline tracker. You can create a new pipeline so that you can start tracking the stages that your clients are at. So for example, this might be you have a new lead and then you move them to the nurturing sequence when you're starting to nurture those leads. And then you move them to, they booked an appointment. So you want to see them in the booked appointment stage. And then they had the appointment and they closed. So you want to move them to the close stage. And then you move them to your onboarding stage. And then you move them to your review stage, for example. Payments. You can set up invoices and so monthly invoices that go out and get paid automatically right here inside of Go High Level. You can send contracts and agreements right from inside of Go High Level. You can set up other forms of subscriptions and sell products, all from right inside of Go High Level. We'll get into this much later once we're setting up pricing and payment for your clients. Cool. Marketing. This is where you can, once it loads, one moment. Marketing. You can set up social media scheduling for any of these platforms from inside of Go High Level, which is super awesome. You can set up email campaigns. This is warm email campaigns. So this is like a newsletter. So people who are already a part of your ecosystem, right? People who have already opted in and are happy to be working with you or want to learn more about your business. Again, this is after they've opted in. You can launch email campaigns from within inside of Go High Level. Cool. The rest of this stuff, not super important for right now. We can get back in. This is, I don't even know what this countdown timer is. That's cool. Brand boards, again, if you want to be able to visualize what's going on with your branding, you can set that up inside of Go High Level. Trigger links we'll get into at another time. We'll do a deeper dive on the marketing section. Trigger links are good for if you're sending a link out and you want to see when somebody clicks on that link or takes an action, or you need to do some sort of action based off of a link that's clicked. You can set up automations based off of trigger links. We'll get into that another time. We're going to spend a lot of time inside of automations. Automations is where you can set up steps that are taken in order. So when one step happens or when one condition is fulfilled, it triggers the next step. That step happens, it triggers the next step. Automations is a whole thing of its own. We're going to spend a lot of time in automations. That will be a whole video on its own, right? Sites. Sites, you can build funnels. So this is like a customer journey funnel, right? You might have a lead magnet that you send out and then you want people to opt in. When they opt in, they go to your VSL. From your VSL, they can go to your calendar. From your calendar, they can go watch the pre-appointment video and get the thank you message. That is a funnel, for example. You can set up a website straight from Go High Level as well. Super powerful. Stores is just a way that you can sell online products. Again, you probably aren't going to use this too much unless you're already running some sort of e-commerce brand. That's what stores are for. Analytics, you can actually see what's going on your funnels or on your websites from this analytics page. If you want to create a blog, you can host a blog straight from Go High Level as well. If you have a WordPress website, you can integrate your WordPress website. Client portal, if you need your clients to be able to log in, you can copy this link and give your clients a login to their own Go High Level accounts. Forms builder, we're going to spend some time inside of the forms. This is where you create contact forms where you want to collect information about contacts, their name, their number, their email. You can ask questions and collect answers to those questions. Surveys, pretty similar, just a different fashion. So instead of having everything on one form, you can have a survey. So it's like multiple pages of a form, pretty much. A form with multiple pages. Chat widget, if you want to embed a chat widget on your website, you can use the one that Go High Level provides. I don't really use this. We're going to cover how to set up text AI agents that can be embedded in your website that work way better. But that's just an example of what's in here. We're going to keep going through the tabs on the side. Memberships. This is if you want to launch a community from your Go High Level account. So you can have like courses and modules and community engagement that's also hosted from Go High Level. Again, Go High Level has so much stuff in it. We're not going to use a lot of it. I also don't prefer using Go High Level's communities. They're a little buggy to interact with, and I don't like the way they look, but that's more of a personal preference. They still work, and a lot of people use them. Media storage. This is where you can upload videos and pictures and be able to embed them inside of your funnels and your websites. So everything that you upload to Go High Level as far as your picture is concerned for your funnel, it's going to be stored in the media. Reputation. If you want to be collecting reviews, this is where you would be able to set up your review tracker. So you can send requests for reviews from here. You can just text your clients straight from the review section. You can see the reviews that you have and where they're coming from. You can set up a widget to be able to embed this on a website and show people the testimonials they're collecting, etc. Reporting. This is if you're setting up ads, like if you have Google ads running or Facebook ads running or something else, you can put all of the reporting inside of or you can view all of your reporting right here from the dashboard. Um, Super cool. If you want to see like specific actions that your users are taking, you can also see that from the reporting. I don't really use this tab too much, but you can use this tab. You can also see a lot of this information inside of the dashboard, or if you go straight to your opportunities. Great. Okay. The app marketplace is if you need to import like a third party application. You rarely are going to need to use this. I don't use any of these apps. Everything that I want is already built into Go High Level. So you probably will never use this. I have some custom menu links here. These aren't going to show up when you log in because you have your own login. But something cool about Go High Level is you can put your own links inside of this like menu panel here. For me, it's just so I can conveniently pull up Vapi, right? That's just, I click that button, it opens up the Vapi dashboard. I click this button, it opens up Claude, open up AI. You can also open these links inside. Like it can, if you use a custom menu link, it can open an iframe. So I could access a lot of stuff from still right inside of Go High Level. We can cover why that might be valuable at another time, but right now we're just doing this overview. Inside of your settings, here at the bottom, you can see your business profile. This is what you just set up when you created the sub account. This is it. This is everything. You really don't need to change any of these settings at all. It's usually pretty good. Some that I like to consider if we're doing email campaigns, then you might want to turn on mark email as invalid due to hard bounce. So if it doesn't actually go to the email that you're trying to send it to, this will remove it from your email campaign so you're not messing up your deliverability. That really is like the only one that we ever even consider changing. For the most part, your business account is already set. You can see your location ID, which is valuable for some automations we'll set up later. Another place you can see your location ID is it's always up here in the URL. This is your location ID. Cool. Add a picture of your business logo if you want. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, but you can add that. Billing. You can see how the billing is working for your account. I don't have any payment method set up here. You really won't need to use this too much. But this is for when you're sending invoices or collecting payment. You're just going to want to integrate your Stripe or Authorize.net payment gateway. Cool. My staff. If you want to invite other team members to your CRM, to your high level account, you can just add employees, put their information in here, have them set up their calendar so that you can book meetings, or clients or other people can book meetings with your team, and it'll be integrated with their Google or Outlook calendar. You can change the roles and permissions. If you don't want them to see everything inside of your Go High Level account, you can change what they have permission to see. Most people usually just can see everything, unless for some reason you want to hide specific information from your team. Same thing, you can set up their phone number. You can give employees a Go High Level phone number. It's connected to Twilio, so you would just buy a Twilio number and put that inside of Go High Level, and then you can assign that to a specific team member. This might be good if you are doing manual dialing from your account and you want your team to have their own numbers, like own business numbers, dedicated to them. So when somebody calls that number, it goes straight to your team member instead of the whole business. We can talk about phone numbers some more in a minute when we import our Twilio number. Again, availability is just kind of setting specific availability for a user, like when people want to book with them. Calendar configuration, this is where you're going to go to integrate your calendar and your preferred video conferencing. Awesome. Opportunities and pipelines. These are just some extra settings for how you can manage your pipelines. You really aren't going to need to come in here. These are just some more settings for seeing like notifications for if your automation is erroring out for some reason. You can turn this on. Usually I do turn this on so I can see reporting for if an automation breaks. Calendar settings. This is for configuring your calendars. We'll set this up a bit more in just a moment. For now, we're just going to keep rolling. There is a conversation AI built into Go High Level. It is not great. I don't use it because it doesn't work very well, at least not as custom as I like to set them up. So we're going to skip this completely. But if you want to learn more, go YouTube it. Cool. Email services. You will want to set up an email uh, for your Go High Level account. This will explain to you why you would want to set up your own email instead of using the default messenger email. It's just for better deliverability, and it looks better if you bring your own account. So when you do want to bring your own email in, we'll cover why and when you would want to do that in a later video. We're not setting up the whole account quite yet. Phone numbers. This is where you would integrate your phone number with your CRM. So if somebody texts your business phone number, you want to see that conversation in your CRM, you're going to want to set up your phone number. We're actually about to do this here in just a moment. WhatsApp. If you want to be able to send messages from WhatsApp, you can sign up with a WhatsApp account. You do have to pay a monthly subscription for it because that is a paid service that Go High Level provides. It is a very convenient way to allow for WhatsApp messaging, though. I do use this. Reputation management. If you're doing like reviews on a website somewhere and you want to be able to manage your reputation, you can click in here and change some settings. I don't really use this too much. Custom fields and custom values. We are going to use this a bunch. So custom fields are the fields that show up on your contact opportunity. To explain this a bit better, I'm going to go back to contacts real quick. I'm going to create a contact just by adding a new contact. Demo, testing, email. I'm just going to drop a random email in real quick. Phone number, same thing. So when you want to create a contact and Go High Level, you need to at least either have their email or their phone number. You don't need both. You need one or the other. I do like to have both though, so that we can reach out to people via both methods. You can also import contacts. Let me go back real quick. You can also import contacts by going to import, and you can upload a CSV with all of your contacts on it and import them straight into your CRM. This is great for if you're migrating from another CRM, or if you're migrating from like you've been using spreadsheets or something like that, or you have a lead list that you want to import into Go High Level. So I'm going to click on this contact I just created, and you will see we have fields on the left side. It has my name, some other information. There's general fields that already come with the CRM that's already set up here. If you want to be able to collect additional information about your clients when they sign up with a form or anything else, you're going to use fields. We will be using this to track our transcripts. Like when a contact has a conversation with AI, we store the transcript, the call recording, the call outcome, and a few other things right directly inside of the contact page. So we'll create custom fields that can store that information. Some other things you'll notice is we have tasks up here. On the right hand, you can see the activity. So what action are those contacts taking? Like if they visit your funnel, you can see when a contact visits your funnel, for example. When they send text messages or other information, that'll pop up here in the middle section. Tasks are if you want to assign tasks related to a specific contact. Say you need to send an invoice to them and you don't want to do it right now, you want to schedule it for later, you can add a task and send reminders to yourself to send that task out or to complete that task. Notes. If you want to just take some notes about this contact and leave it on the contact page, you can take notes, which is super convenient. I create a call log here. So say that somebody talks to my AI more than once and I want to see the history of all the conversations they have with the AI. I create a call log. And we set that automation up. I'll show you how to do that when we get into automating the end of call report. Appointments. You can see when specific contacts have appointments with you. Super convenient. You can also create an appointment from here. Documents. If you need to add specific documents to a contact, you can add them here and send them here. You can see what documents your clients have sent to you. You can see the ones that you sent to them, whatever. Payments. If you are transacting with your contacts in here, like if people are paying you monthly or you've sent an invoice, here you can see that contact. So again, everything you might need as far as information about a contact and your business, you can see directly on the contact page. Okay, cool. We're going to keep rolling. custom fields. When I want to create a specific field where I'm collecting a new bit of information about a client, I'm going to create a new field. Typically, I'll create a new folder first so I can organize it better. So I'll create a folder that is specific to AI, right? I might have an AI calling, AI call field. And I can see the transcript, the recording, etc., after I create a field in that folder. I'll show you how to do that when we integrate the CRM, when we integrate the Vapi AI agent into the CRM. Super easy. We'll cover that. Custom values. This is also another place where you can automate specific information. The best way to explain it is just by clicking on it. If I want a value to always be here, it's pretty much like a placeholder, right? If I want my business name to pop up in a bunch of different locations without me having to go in and automatically place my business name inside of a message or on my funnel, I can put my business name inside of a custom value. So this would be business name. The value would be infinite AI. I can select the folder that it lives in. We don't have any folders yet, but I can create a custom value. This is literally just a placeholder. So it's convenient for when you're setting up a template and you don't want to have to go manually update all of the information in the template. You can use custom values and it'll auto-populate your templates for you. We will get into why that is valuable at another time. When we're setting up the automations for our AI agent, we're going to use some custom values. You can set up lead scoring inside of your CRM. So if you want to score a lead based off of how much engagement they've had, right? They've opened your emails or they've sent you some messages. You can set up different ways to score that lead, and say you want to reach out to leads that have at least a score of 10, right? So maybe you've added some points for sending emails, you've added some points for engaging with your funnel, whatever. It's an easy way to see who has been the most engaged with your business. So that is what scoring is set up for. Domains. If you want to host your own funnel or website on Go High Level, you just connect the domain that you want to use. I do have some domains in AI. If I wanted to connect this domain, I would just add records manually, and then there's training videos on exactly how to do it. It's just updating your DNS records. So if you're using like Namecheap or GoDaddy, you would just update these records on GoDaddy, and now you have your domain set up with Go High Level. Not that complicated once you actually get in there. It will be pretty straightforward. I'm also going to show you a resource that you can reach out to 24/7 and get support. URL redirects. This is if somebody goes to like one of your website pages and you want it to redirect to a different website or a different page. Say you have two domains for some reason and you want them both to go to the same location, you can actually create a URL redirect here inside of Go High Level as well. It's pretty convenient. Integrations. So this is where you're going to connect your Google account, your Facebook and Instagram account, your QuickBooks account if you use QuickBooks, your TikTok, your LinkedIn. This is mostly if you're using like LinkedIn ads. Your Stripe account to collect payments, your Slack channel if you want to keep Slack notifications and communicate with your team via Slack and still see that inside of Go High Level. Pretty convenient. We're mostly just going to be using Stripe so that you can send invoices, Google so that you can do your calendar information. If you're using an Outlook calendar, it looks a little bit different. That's really all you need from here. The form fields mapping is if you're connecting your ads accounts. Yeah, cool. All right. Private integrations. This is a brand new feature and I'm so excited about it. The reason why this is so powerful is because this is how you can make API requests to Go High Level from one of your automation platforms. API requests are how pieces of software communicate to each other. So now we have pretty much an API token. It's a bearer token. What that means is it's the password that allows you to send information to the Go High Level software or get information from the Go High Level software. We will be using this when we want to set up the advanced AI agent to get calendar availability and schedule appointments directly to Go High Level. This is also what we're going to be using to use the AI to send text messages directly from Go High Level. Super cool. They did not have an easy way to do this before like a month ago. So this is brand new and I'm so excited about it. We'll cover this more once we start to integrate the AI and build some more advanced functions and features. When we get into the advanced text AI agents, this is going to be pretty important. And when we're setting up tools, this is going to be pretty important. We'll get there. Conversation providers, you really don't need to use this like ever. Unless you're a developer and you're setting up like custom conversation stuff. There's not an easy way to explain this because it's not a very common use. And if you're not going to there's a whole marketplace where you can develop your own custom apps for Go High Level. We're not doing that. There's other videos for that. Actually, there's not really many videos out there. It's not very common. Anyways, tags. Tags are how we can manage just another way to keep track of what's happening with your contacts. Tags can be used to trigger automations. They can also just be used as labels, pretty much. So if you have a contact that you want to, for example, how I use tags is usually to trigger an automation. So I'll have a AI call tag. If I add that AI call tag to a contact, and I'll show you where we can do that. If I add the tag AI call, I can create the tag and add it from here. Then that will trigger another automation that actually makes the AI call the person. We will get into that in depth when we're setting up the automations. Cool. You can also see what automations your clients or your contacts have been through in the past, and you can see which ones they're in currently. You can also add them to an automation straight from here if you don't want to use the tag. The tag is just more convenient because you can add contacts in bulk. So if we want to trigger a lot of AI calls to go out like, at once, we can hit please, we can hit this add tag and we can select a bunch of contacts to add the tag to. So then I can add one tag to like 20 contacts and they can all go into my automation at the same time. Very convenient way to see that has happened. You can also add a lot of contacts to an automation in bulk. I just find using the tags to be a bit more convenient because there's some other automation stuff that we can set up with tags later. We'll get into this in depth. But for now, we're just kind of going over the overview of all of the stuff that you can do inside of Go High Level. Labs is just where you can access like early features. You really don't have to come in here, but I do turn on a lot of the early features because I want to use them. You can just read what new feature they're about to drop, and like you can choose if you want to add it early before it becomes available. New color picker for funnels, and this looks like it'll be pretty cool. It's going to be live in 8 days. I just made it live now for me. That's all. Audit logs is you can see what activity has been taking place in your CRM. So this is, like you can see, I created this contact, I created a custom value, I deleted a custom value. So you can see what's been happening, who did what inside of the CRM. That's just a pretty cool way to keep track of activity. Brand boards. This is where you can set up, again, just custom branding. This is a new feature as well. Pretty cool though. Last but not least, we have the companies tab. I really don't use this. But if you have a company that you're working with and you have a lot of contacts that all work at the same company and you need to group them together, this is typically just where you can manage the settings related to a specific company. Again, not something you're really ever going to have to use, but it's here for if you do end up using it. That's all of the tabs inside of Go High Level pretty much, except for some of the specific tabs to like right, we have some other options that we can click through up here inside of the marketing tab. But if you have any questions about anything related to Go High Level, you can hit this little question mark and they have 24/7 support calls. This is your customer relationship number. So when you join a support call, you're going to need to get your relationship number so that you can tell them what CRM you're using, like which account do they need to be looking at. There's plenty of support they have. They have communities. They have a welcome course, which I would highly recommend you watch if you've never used Go High Level before. But join Zoom call now. That's typically where you're going to get one-on-one support. You'll go, they'll put you in a queue. You'll get access to talking to somebody about any questions you have about anything in here. They can ask you or answer for you. So you don't have to rely solely on YouTube. You don't have to solely rely on like me or anybody else. You can ask the people who made the platform. They're super great. I actually really like Go High Level support. They do a really great job. I highly recommend. If you want to log out, you can just sign back in. If you are an agency owner, you can log in as other people in your account. Like I can log in as a bunch of people. I'm not going to do that. I don't need to. Okay. Notifications. This is just where you can see notifications about what's happening inside of your Go High Level account. Yeah. View channel log. This is again just updates that are coming out from Go High Level. They'll just post updates there. And then the phone. You can trigger phone calls from directly inside of your Go High Level account as well. So if you want to call a contact or call anybody with your business phone number, you can just hit this phone number. I don't have a phone system connected to this account yet, so we are going to do that here right now. Phone. Somebody help phone numbers. There we go. All right. Phone system settings. We are going to be using Twilio. This is only viewable by agency owners, by the way. So if you have your own agency, you can see the stuff. If you're using a sub account, you won't be able to see a lot of this. If you're using a sub account and you need to connect a phone number and you're trying to use a voice AI agent, make sure that your agency owner has you under the Twilio settings for your phone numbers. Go High Level has a built-in phone system called Lead Connector. You don't want to use that. You want to use Twilio. So reach out to your agency and request that they switch your phone provider to Twilio. I'm going to click on the phone settings. And you'll see that this just sent me back to my agency account. That is because the agency is where the phone settings are managed. So if you are an agency, you can connect your Twilio account. You'll see on here, use Twilio. This is suggesting I switch back to LC. Don't do that. Use Twilio. If I want to connect a specific sub account, I can go to the sub account. Where's the one I just created? New demo. I'll hit connect. Oh no, not that connect. So if you don't already have a Twilio account, as an agency, every time you create a sub account, it automatically creates a new sub account in your Twilio account as well. I'll actually go ahead and just show you since we just did that. I hit that connect button and it created a new sub account. If I wanted to change the sub account connected, I can update my credentials. So if you already have a Twilio account, you can add your Twilio information right here to the new sub account. This is going to connect your Twilio account to your Go High Level account. I just accidentally created a sub account because I hit that little connect button, but I'll show you. View all sub accounts, you'll see new demo. This is the new account that I just created. I don't want to use this one because I already have an account that we set up in the last video, the Twilio video. And that's the one I want to use because I already bought a phone number and there's no use in buying another phone number and doing that again. So we're going to connect this account. So you'll take your account SID, and this is something the agency will have to do. So if you're not an agency, again, ask your agency if they can switch you to Twilio, and then tell them, hey, I have an account SID, I have my auth token, can you please switch my account? Okay, so I would take my SID from Twilio, and if you don't know how to create an account on Twilio, we already went over that in the last video. Go watch the Twilio video. But this is the account we just created. I'll take my auth token. I'll paste it. Again, do not share your SID and your auth token. These are private information. If you share these things, anybody will be able to use your Twilio account, buy phone numbers, trigger automations, call people with your phone number, whatever. Don't expose these things. I'm going to delete this auth token, so I don't mind showing it for this immediate moment because I'm going to be deleting it after these videos are posted. Do not expose that information. Anyways, the Twilio account is now connected. You might ask, why do I create my own sub accounts instead of just using the sub account that's auto created? Either one works. I just already made the Twilio account in the last video when I was showing you how to make the Twilio account. So either one works. Either way, it's a sub account. That's cool. So this is a sub account to my agency account in Twilio. And I can make a sub account in Twilio for all of my sub accounts in Go High Level. So I can have a unique sub account. That means unique phone numbers, unique authentication for every sub account inside of Go High Level that matches with the sub accounts inside of Twilio. That's why this is so convenient, because they integrate seamlessly with each other. Super cool. If you have any questions about sub accounts or how any of that works, again, you can go ask the Go High Level support team. You can also ask Claude or ChatGPT, because this software is so popular that the AI usually has all the up-to-date information on it, or up-to-date enough that it can help you set these things up. So you can ask for a step-by-step guide on how to set up your Twilio account, or why you might want to set up a Twilio account, and the AI will be able to explain it to you. Cool. All right. Oh, wrong location. New demo. Okay, so we're back inside. And again, you'll see I have Twilio here on my menu link too, just because I want it to be super convenient for me to click wherever I want to go. Just a little, heads up to make your life easier. Well, I'll go back to phone numbers. Let me get some water here. And now you'll see I have my Twilio phone number right here. If I want to add this phone number, so this is going to pull a list of all of the numbers that you have inside of your Twilio account that is connected to Go High Level now. If I want this number to be added into Go High Level, I'll come over here and I'll hit add. That means anytime somebody sends a text message to this number, I'll get it in the CRM. Anytime somebody calls this number, it'll ring inside of my CRM. If you want this to be set up as an AI agent, you need to connect your AI agent inside of Vapi. So I'm going to do that again real quick. I want to show you something. If you watched the last video, you saw me connect the phone number to Twilio, or to Vapi. You saw me go to Twilio, buy a phone number, connect it to Vapi. You noticed that the webhook here switched to the Vapi voice call. That was good. But since I just added this phone number to my Go High Level account, it changed the settings inside of Twilio. So to switch that back, right now it's just set up that if I call this number anytime, it's not going to ring to my Vapi agent anymore. It's going to ring to Go High Level. If I want to change those settings back, what I need to do is go back to Vapi. Let me switch to the right account. Go to Vapi. Go to phone numbers. It says it is still imported in here, which is true. But the settings inside of Twilio are wrong. When you click on your number in Twilio, you'll see this configure page. This URL, this is where this is where a phone call is sent when somebody rings into the number. So it goes to Twilio first, and then Twilio decides where to send that phone call to. Is it going to send it to Go High Level, or is it going to send it to Vapi? Since I just added this to Go High Level, it's going to send it to Go High Level. I need to change this back to Vapi. So I need to get the URL from Vapi and paste this here. There's an easy way to do this. I could either delete this number and re-import it and it'll fix the settings again. I'm going to try something else real quick because I am curious if this is going to work. I'm going to ask the AI for the webhook URL. Also, another pro tip, if you want to make texting and training voice AI agents or just texting on your laptop easy, turn on your speech to text. That way I can just, like, there's a button on my Mac that I can just hit like this, and now I can talk straight into my mic and it types for me. I love this thing. I use it all the time now. Pro tip, turn on speech to text for your keyboard. Hey, can you give me the incoming call webhook that I need to paste inside of Twilio to be able to make sure that the incoming calls go to Vapi? I forgot what the URL is. So when a call comes in, I need the URL to send to Vapi. This might work. It might not. I'm just curious. Nope, having a hard time finding it. I'll see if it's in here. It doesn't look like it's in here. So that's okay. The other way to do this is if you have another agent that is still connected, then you can just grab the URL in the settings from the agent that is still connected to Vapi and paste it in here. Again, we're in the configuration settings of the phone number. So again, click your phone number. We're right here in the settings. The other thing that we can do is I can literally just delete this number and import it again. Account dashboard. Grab the SID. Grab the auth token. Again, do not expose this information ever. Never, ever, ever. I'm going to delete this account after we're done here, so it doesn't matter. But you should never be exposing yourself like this. Anyways, I just re-imported that number. What you'll see back on the account is the webhook changed. Now this is going back to Vapi. See, I'll show you. Now when a call goes into the number, it's going to send it to Vapi instead of sending it to Go High Level. Cool. But that does mean when somebody calls into this number, it's not going to register and Go High Level when they call in because it's not sending it to Go High Level. Something that you can do that allows for you to see when numbers come in to Go High Level, like say you still want to see that somebody called in, you want to see that in your CRM, and then the number goes to a Vapi agent. Usually I would set this up later for you. I will. Go watch the inbound calling video, and on that video I'll show you some other methods for setting up an inbound call. We'll cover literally everything as far as additional settings you might want to set for your inbound voice agent and how you can still track those calls inside of the CRM, but still have the AI take those calls. We'll also set up, you'll see. Go watch the inbound video. It's pretty cool. Okie dokie. So I now have a phone number inside of Go High Level. If somebody texts this, I'll get the message inside of the conversations area. Sorry. If somebody texts, I'll get the message inside the conversations area. I can see a list of my contacts here that are talking to me, and I can click on the contact and see the conversation. I can also see the conversation directly from this location. Now, if you want to send a text message from your Go High Level account using that Twilio number, I could try, and I'm going to get this error. Unsuccessful. A2P registration pending. So, if you watched the Twilio video, you watched me set up the A2P campaign. The reason we did that was so that we could send text messages with the Twilio number. If you have not set up your A2P registration, you will not be able to send text messages. You will be able to receive them, but you cannot send them. So set up your A2P. Go watch the Twilio video. Okay. That is Go High Level. You can do a ton of stuff in here. A couple other pieces that we'll go over is the calendars, because you will be using this. If you just integrate your calendar, your Google Calendar, right? I can go back to my calendar settings. I can hit, sorry. If I go to integrations, I can sign in with Google, and then I will be able to connect my Google Calendar. Awesome. If I go to calendar settings, connections, I can also connect. Oh no, sorry. This is for if you're like a home services business and you want to connect booking to like your Google My Business profile. We don't really have to do that. If you want to create a calendar, this is just like using Calendly or cal.com, like any of those calendar platforms. Just hit new calendar. Personal booking means when people book on your calendar, they're booking directly just with you or one specific team member. Round robin means they'll have a list of people they can book with, and they get to select who they want to book with. Class booking is one host can hold a class with a bunch of people who join. And then collective booking is multiple hosts can meet with one participant. Okay. Personal booking is usually what you're going to use. If you have a team, you might want to use round robin. Personal booking, name your calendar, pick the team member this calendar belongs to, change the URL of the calendar so that it's not matching any other calendars. Change the minute duration, change your availability, and then hit advanced settings. So we'll just show you demo. I don't have any team members right now, so this actually isn't going to work. Let me go ahead and show you how to add a team member real quick then. So again, I can go to settings, go to my staff, add employees, and I can add a team member here. It won't let me add myself because I'm already an agency contact. If I wanted to add my agency contact to this account, I'll have to go back to the agency settings and add myself to this account, which I'll go ahead and do real quick because I want to make sure that we cover everything just in case you have any questions. So I'm back on my agency account. Again, if you don't have an agency account, just go to my staff, add yourself straight from there. If you do have an agency account and you're already an agency contact and you want to add yourself to your sub account, you can go to team, go to the agency, go to settings, go to team, and then add, then just find your contact. This is my contact. Yay, I'm the agency owner. Awesome, cool. Roles and permissions. I can add myself to a new sub account. So if I go add sub account, add to the account that I just made, new demo, and I hit save, I am now on that team. So I can go back, go settings, go to my staff. Look, it's me. I'm there. So this is what a team member looks like once they're on your account. I already have, or I will need to add my calendar configurations, like if I want to have a Google Calendar updated. So again, go to integrations, connect your Google Calendar. Everybody on your team will need to do this independently. So if you aren't using the same like business calendar and everybody has their own business calendar or business emails, then everybody needs to sign in with their own emails. If you all share a business email, then again, all of the users will still have to sign in, but they just sign in with the one business email. Cool. All right. Calendars. Go to calendar settings. Add a calendar. Personal booking. The only team member that I can select is me because I'm the only one here. This is the name that is going to pop up on the calendar. So this is going to be visible by like the people who are booking with you. Demo calendar. Calendar. Demo. I cannot spell right now. Calendar. Okay. Meeting duration I can change from here. This demo. Cal. I'm going to hit advanced settings because I do want to change my availability and some other information. When you hit advanced settings, you'll see calendar name. If you want to write a description for what the calendar is, again, this will be publicly viewable. You can click that. If you want to add the calendar to a group, this is a group is like, it will hold multiple calendars on it. So when you use a group, you can have a web page that people can select the type of appointment they want to book with you, right? You might have a 15-minute consultation and a 30-minute consultation and an hour-long consultation. If you want people to be able to select between the 3 calendars you have, add them all to the same group and then send out your calendar group URL. People can click on that and pick between the 3 meetings. Meeting titles. This is a placeholder. So remember earlier when we were going over custom values, this is what a custom value looks like. This is a value that already comes with Go High Level. It's called contact.name. That inserts the contact's name. Pretty easy. If I wanted to insert a custom value, I'll see the folder that my custom value is in, and you'll see custom values, and I can just add that custom value. I don't have any right now, but again, it's just a placeholder. So contact.name is going to insert the contact's name that is booking with you. So if I was booking with myself, this would say Trey John. It would just be Trey John. So this would be Trey John. And if I want to put demo calendar on it or AI consultation, it'll put the contact's name that's booking and then whatever else you want here. Cool. You can also put their phone number or whatever else you might want. Phone number, email, address, whatever you want to drop in here. But that's how the placeholders work. This information is not super necessary. I want all of my meetings to have a Google Meet attached to them already when people book. So I would just add Google Meet. Medium priority, if I had multiple team members on this calendar and I wanted it to book with me, I would set this to high priority just so I know, like, oh, high priority just is pretty much like a label, like, hey, this is a high priority meeting. Show up. Low priority would be like, it's less priority. You don't really need to change this. Leave it to medium priority. I've never really seen much of a reason to. Add location. Oh, if I wanted to add other places that people can meet with me, right? Maybe I want to also do Google or Zoom, but I don't think I don't have a Zoom account connected. I don't use Zoom. I hate Zoom. That's just me though. If you want to connect Zoom, hit Zoom. If you want to connect something else, hit something else. Like if it's a phone call meeting, you don't need to send a Google Meet or a Zoom. You might just hit phone and then call them, right? Or have them call you, whatever. It's up to you. That's the calendar. You're going to hit save. It's going to send you to the next page. Availability. This is when you can adjust your calendar availability. When you connect this calendar with your Google Calendar, it will also be looking at your Google Calendar to see when you're available. That way you don't double book, but you can also change your availability here. Any day you want, anytime you want. That's pretty self-explanatory. Just choose the time, right? You can change it whenever, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Look busy. This is just if you want it to look like you're more booked than you actually are. I really don't use this, but if you want to hide some of your availability so you look more busy, that's what look busy is for. These settings are all really self-explanatory. Like you can hover over the icon and it'll explain what it does. So I'm not going to spend too much time going over all of these pieces. But this is like if I want only one meeting to show up per hour, it's 1 hour. 30-minute is the meeting duration. Minimum scheduling notice is if I want, like you can't book with me, like you have to book with me at least 18 hours in advance. You have to book with me at least 1 day in advance. Like I don't want people to just be able to book with me for an hour from now if I'm available. Don't do that. Date range is how many dates in advance can people book? Like, so if you only want people to be able to book for this week, 5 days. Maximum bookings per day. This is if you have like a maximum amount of appointments you want to take in a day. You can turn that on. I don't. Just book. Maximum bookings per slot. If you are fine with being double booked, you can turn this up to 2 or 3, and then you can have multiple meetings able to be booked on the same slot. Maybe you have one business calendar and you have multiple team members and you want You want to be able to book all of your appointments to one calendar, but you don't want it to look like people can't book at that time because you have 3 availabilities per booking slot. Then you can just turn up the maximum booking slot. Pre-buffer time and post-buffer time, these are just buffers. So if like you're booked, like you're booked and you have some other event on your calendar, like 15 minutes before the meeting or 15 minutes after the meeting, it'll just, every time you book a meeting on the calendar, it'll also block out 15 minutes before the meeting and 15 minutes after the meeting, so nothing else can be booked there. Like if you need time to do pre-appointment prep or post-appointment activities. I really don't use this either. I just increase the meeting interval so that people can't book back to back. Okay, cool. I'd hit save, move to the next step. This is the form that people will have to submit when they book it with you. That's it. You can collect information. The default is first name, last name, email, phone, and some notes. You can also import custom forms in here. I don't have any forms created yet, but if you want to qualify people when they're booking with you, you can create a form that asks them some other questions. You would add custom fields to the form, like, hey, how much money are you making right now? What are your goals in 12 months? You can add those fields to the form so you can collect that information before the appointment, and then you will see their responses on the contact. That's a custom field. We will cover forms in a later video because we will be using them. Not right now. Cool. Anyways, most of that is set up. If I want people to be able to add guests is cool. Notifications, if I want to turn on notifications when people book. So yes, I want to turn on notifications for the contact, for the guest that they added, and the user that's assigned to this. It's me. If I want Google to send out invitations and update emails, I'll hit the check mark. Yes. If I want to allow people to reschedule or cancel the meeting, I can add these links and add an expiration date or a time. Like if I don't want them to be able to reschedule within 30 minutes of when the meeting starts, I can add that timer on. And I can add additional notes that automatically get connected to the appointment. Again, these are placeholders. I can add other placeholders if I want. I don't really ever do this. Okay. Customization, last piece. If I want the calendar page that people book on to look pretty, I can add a picture. It's not necessary, but you can. There are different widget styles. Again, not super necessary, but if you want to learn more, hit learn more, and you'll see. That is, no, we're missing some stuff. Customization. Oh, they must have changed there we go. This little tab. They just added that, so I didn't know where it was at. But here you go. If you want to change the colors that show up on your calendar, you can change the colors here. Literally, this is just about customizing what the calendar looks like. You can preview the calendar by hitting the preview button, and you can see what your calendar looks like. This is what we just set up. Yay! Look at all that stuff. I don't have a Google Calendar connected yet, so you won't see. But I can select, fill out the form, schedule the meeting. If I want a custom form, this is where it's going to pop up. Okay. When you integrate your Google Calendar, you will see some other settings on here. It's going to say calendar integration, one way, two way, or smart. If you only want to be able to schedule meetings from Go High Level and it automatically goes to your Google Calendar, you'll select one way. If you want to be able to schedule appointments on your Google Calendar and it automatically connects to your Go High Level calendar, select two way. Smart, I don't really know what smart does. I guess I'm not that smart. I guess I am not that smart, not smart enough to know what smart is. Again, you'll see that after you've already connected you've integrated your calendars or your Google account. I'm not doing that because I don't want my Google account on this demo account. So we're not doing it. Cool. That's calendar. Hit save. It'll save all the updates you made and you will now have a calendar set up with Go High Level. Awesome. I'm going to close now. Now I have this calendar. The last piece we'll go over in this video, because these are like the main functions you'll use without us having to go super deep. Like, we're going to use automations a lot, but we're going to have to spend a whole video on its own going over automations. We'll cover that. For right now, the last piece is opportunities. This is how you track the pipeline stages of your contacts. So we're going to create a pipeline real quick. Go to pipelines, create the pipeline. Oops, I clicked on too much stuff at once and it got scared. So if I go to pipelines, why is this coming up as create your first pipeline? That's what I'm trying to do. Add a pipeline. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let me try refreshing. Sometimes you just have to refresh your page. Honestly, there's no other explanation for why things break sometimes. Turn it off, turn it back on. See, now we have a button that says create new pipeline. Cool. This pipeline will be named sales pipeline. First stage is cold lead. Second stage is first message sent. Second stage is message replied. Third stage is appointment booked. Closed. We sold them. If you want other stuff like they met and they weren't interested, you can add like not interested. And this is just so you can track what's happening with your contacts through like your sales pipeline or any other pipeline. It's an imaginary pipeline. It's not a real pipeline. It's just literally whatever you want to be able to track, you'll be able to track. When I go back over to opportunities, I can now see this pipeline here. This is my sales pipeline. Contact cards will pop up here and I can manually move my contacts through the pipeline. I can also set up automations that automate the contacts to move through certain sections of the pipeline based on whatever conditions we set, right? So say I want to, if I send a message to a cold lead, I want them to move to the first message sent pipeline. I can set up an automation that triggers when I send a message to a lead. They can go to the first message sent. You can also trigger automations based off of changes in your pipeline. So say I manually move, I'm going to show you. I'll go to my contact. I'll click it real quick. I'm going to add an opportunity. So I'm going to add my contact to a pipeline stage just by hitting create. They're going to the sales pipeline, cold lead stage. I just created this opportunity. If I go back to opportunities, look, I'm here. I can manually move it to any step I want. Now, something that's really cool is I can trigger automations based off of the stage I drag a contact to. So for example, say whenever a contact closes, I want to send them the onboarding form. If they have an appointment with me, I can see, okay, they're in the appointment booked. We're having the appointment. The appointment just ended. I can go to my opportunities and I can drag this contact to closed. And if I have another automation set up, it will send them the onboarding form when this contact moves to closed. You could, everything I just explained, like even this manual dragging from appointment booked to closed, I could have a form that I set up these automations for, right? Like if I have an appointment form and somebody booked with me and I had the appointment, I could build a form for myself that's like post-appointment notes. On that form, I could have a checkbox that says, oh, they closed. That when I click the checkbox and submit the form, it will trigger an automation that moves the contact to closed. And when the contact gets moved to closed, that's going to trigger the other automation that sends them the onboarding form, right? So that's an example of a multi-step automation. When one step happens, the next step happens. When that step happens, the next step happens. We'll spend a whole video going over automations and what automations are going to be best for your business when you're working with the AI or if you're using this for like a business that you're already running. Cool. All right. Again, we're just covering the basics of what the tech stack is. This is Go High Level. There's a ton of stuff in here. It's super powerful. You don't need to use everything and you don't need to know about everything to use it effectively. I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to use, and then you can have your fun and build whatever you want. Cool. Super cool. Okay. We're going to jump right in here. So this is N8N. Automations are literally just dominoes that you need to set up. And when you push over the first domino, the rest of the dominoes fall. It's just a step-by-step action chain. Okay, I'm sending a text message to my assistant now that says, great, thank you for the support. I'm really excited. Can I make money with AI? How can you help? What's the best solution? And here we go. Nice, nice, nice. Awesome. I guess here's a good time to explain that item split, right? So one item comes in, that's the text message. We're determining if questions are being asked. Yes, questions are being asked. So the code separates the questions. We're splitting those questions into 3 different fields. So the code formats it this way. Now we're separating it into 3 different items, excuse me. So you'll see one item comes in, 3 items come out. Those items get stored in Notion. And then we limit it back down to 1 item on to continue through the automation. And I did receive a text message back, and it was Finn. Text me back. Cool. Text message fine.
Sending the appointment link. Just a sec. Great, the appointment link has been sent.
Cool, thank you, appreciate it. And this is my text messages. Boom. We're good to go. All right, that's how the automation works. It's super step-by-step straightforward, right? Okay, so my trigger, your trigger is always going to be the very first thing that starts an automation. This is a webhook trigger, so this means I'm getting information from a different software and it's sending that data to N8N to trigger automations. Some other examples of triggers are, let's look it up, trigger. There's a bunch, but there's an easier way to see this. Here, add another trigger. So you can trigger workflows manually by clicking test workflow, and that can trigger a workflow. You can trigger a workflow with an event that happens on a different application. For example, if you're using Airtable for your CRM, you have a trigger called on new Airtable event. So when something happens in Airtable, you can trigger an automation here in N8N. Super cool. Here's another example. There's on webhook call, which is what we're using right here, which is very similar to the on another app event, right? This webhook is catching data that's coming from my Go High Level CRM. Here's another example on chat message. So when somebody chats in to the N8N chat portal, it's super cool. You can embed a chat widget on your website with N8N, and then when somebody messages that widget, it will trigger this automation to reply. And you can also just schedule your automations, right? So this could be an automation that goes out every day, right? Or every 12 hours, really whatever you want to schedule. But that's all triggers are. It's some sort of condition that needs to be met to start your automation. Cool. Now, these steps in between after the trigger, these are called nodes. Each of these little blocks here, this is a node, this is a node, this is a node, this is a node. Everything's a node. Cool. And these are just actions. It's an execution. That is all a node is. It's just the next action that needs to be taken. So to put it simply, again, an automation is a series of dominoes that you need to set up so you can knock the first one down and take all of the actions after that. When you're thinking about setting up automations Really, the main principle is just think through step by step what actions you would have to take manually to achieve your outcome, whatever goal you're shooting for, and then put those steps in place one at a time. So you have to think about, what is your goal? I'm starting here. I'm trying to go here. What steps do I have to take from start to finish? That is all. Once you think through it thoroughly, you'll realize, oh, okay, there's a couple steps that I typically didn't realize I had to do. And building the automation allows you to have a very thorough understanding of the process for achieving an outcome. This example here in front of you might look complex. I promise it is not. What is happening here is, in Go High Level, I have it set up to send information to N8N whenever somebody texts me at a certain number. So when somebody texts my AI agent Finn, so they send a text message or a WhatsApp message to +1 806 303 0888. Go High Level will send information to N8N and trigger the rest of this workflow. We'll cover exactly how to build these custom tools in the video where we're integrating our AI with the CRM. And there's a whole video I'm dedicating specifically to custom tools with Vapi and with the texting agent. Vapi is a voice AI agent. This is how I build my custom text AI agents. We'll cover a very in-depth video of building other custom tools, but I'm kind of just going to walk you through what this process looks like. So again, on the first field, we have a webhook. So once I get data from Go High Level, it's going to trigger the workflow. In the edit fields map, I'm literally just taking the data that I got from Go High Level and I'm renaming it so it's easier to format for later steps. Right? This also is not super complicated. When my webhook goes off, I can map each of the data fields into N8N just so I have an easy organization of all the data I need. Because Go High Level will send all of the information about a contact, right? Custom fields, any custom values that you wanted to send, their name, their address, their phone number, literally all of the information that's stored on a contact, which can be a lot, that all gets sent to N8N. I only want certain pieces of data, so I set that data in a field so I can just easily go find it in the next steps of the automation. Cool. After that, I am sending the information to an AI agent. So again, this is an automation that gets triggered when somebody texts my AI agent. I need the AI agent to be able to figure out what they're texting about and send a response. This AI agent specifically is actually looking to see if the person who texted in asked any questions, because for my particular use case here, I want to store those users' questions in a database somewhere so that I can go back and make content to answer those questions. That would actually probably be helpful if I kind of explain from a high level what the goal here is. So when somebody texts me, I want to be able to respond with my AI. But I also have a secondary goal. When somebody texts me and they have a question to ask, I want to store that question inside of a database, inside Notion, where I'm documenting all of my business processes. And then I want to respond, right? So I have to think about this process step by step. What needs to happen to be able to respond to a text message with AI? So first we need to receive the text message. Here it is. Then I need to decide, is the person asking a question or do they just need a response? This AI agent is determining if somebody asks a question. I'll show you. There's a whole prompt in here that is all just explaining how to determine if somebody has asked a question and how to formulate that question to store it in the N8N document. That's all this AI agent is doing. Some other really cool things about an AI agent is it has a few pieces. AI agents have three components. They have the LLM, so that's the brain, how they can think. So OpenAI is actually the one that's processing the text message and understanding the system prompt to know exactly what it needs to do. So just like, you can make a custom GPT on OpenAI or an AI assistant on OpenAI, this is the same principle behind making an assistant. Just give it its role, make sure it understands how to do its task, and let it fly. The next really cool component about AI agents are they have a memory. So they actually remember the context of the conversation that is happening. N8N has a built-in window memory system, and I have it set to remember the previous 20 messages in a conversation. So it understands the context of each session, so each chat with the user when it comes in. Memories are super cool. So we have the brain, we have the memory. The last really cool piece of AI agents is they can take actions. So here I have a tool called Search Database, and this is searching my Notion database to determine whether or not the question that somebody has asked has already been asked before by another user. The reason I have this set up is because I don't want to store the same question over and over and over again. If the question has already been asked before, I'm not going to be storing that new question inside of my database. So I want to search the database when somebody asks a question to determine whether or not that question has been asked before. If it has not been asked before, if there's no question that somebody asked, or if that question has already been asked, excuse me, then I don't need to store a new question inside of my database. I'm just going to respond with the AI. I'll walk through that in just a moment. Now, if somebody does ask a new question, this AI has figured out what that question is, and its output is the question that has been asked. If there's no new question, then it just responds with false, and we go down the false path. If there is a new question, it responds with the question that needs to be asked, and it goes through the true path, right? Yes, there has been a question that was asked. Awesome. The rest of this is really just formatting here. N8N is a little particular about the way that you can format responses to update the database. So I'll just kind of show you the code real quick. I'm just reformatting the structure of the question so that I can separate those questions with a split out. Again, this is not super complicated. We'll be building this step by step in another video anyways, but right now I just want you to understand the concept of using N8N to build custom tools. So I have to reformat the data and separate it. So if somebody asks like 3 questions, I want to separate each of those 3 questions so I can store them all inside of the database as individual items. So this code block, and the way I wrote this code is I literally just explained what I needed to do, gave it to Claude and said, hey, can you separate these responses for me and make them individual items? That's all. So if somebody asks 3 questions, 3 questions come into the code block. The code block separates the 3 questions into 3 different items. So now we had one text block that has 3 questions in it. They get separated to have 3 different outputs, 3 items that are coming out. And this one is the one that's actually doing the splitting. So the code separates the questions to fit a format that the split function can actually separate. I know this might seem a little complicated right now, but I promise it is not. Honestly, the best way to do this might be to just show you. Yeah, I'll show you this automation in its workings here in a moment after I explain the rest of the automation. Inside of Notion, we have my database, and I'm just storing the questions, what time the question was logged, and that is literally it. I just want to know, oh, this person asked a question. And I don't even need to know who asked the question. Really, I just need to know what was the question, and I'm curious, when was it logged? Again, there are 3 items that are coming here to Notion, right? If there are 3 questions, there are 3 different items going through this workflow now. I don't want to have 3 items continue to move forward because it's going to trigger the rest of these automations 3 times. So I have this limit function here to reduce the amount of items that move forward past this point back down to 1. So 1 item comes in at the beginning to trigger, and that's the message. 1 item goes through all of these processes. At the code block, we reformat that 1 item to be able to separate it into 3 items if it's 3 questions. If it's 2 questions, it's 2 items. If it's 4 questions, it's 4 items. If it's 1 question, there's nothing to be split, right? But that question then gets stored in Notion. We limit the responses beyond this point back to 1 because I don't want to trigger these other automations with multiple items. That would make my AI respond 3 times if there were 3 questions. I only want the AI to respond once. This edit field is, again, just reformatting the data, or not formatting the data. It's just another set. I'm just, again, putting the responses into a field that is easy to find. And it's really the same set data that I used in the first one. Honestly, it's not super necessary, but sometimes when setting up these automations, the AI agent has a hard time, or just this node in general, it has a hard time finding the original input. Like it has a hard time looking back and seeing, oh, this is my where all of my information is about the contact, right? Their address, their phone number, their name, whatever. I just find it easier to add edit fields before any of my AI agents, so it's really easy to just look one step back and find the information I need. But these are just copy and pastes of the original edit field. It's not super necessary. I just find it more convenient to do that. Anyways, this agent is actually doing a response. So again, if we look here at this step, for the true response, right, if there is a new question that has been asked, we're just going up to store in Notion real quick, and then we're coming back down to do the response. If there's no new question that's being asked, we're just coming down to do the response. Cool. So this AI agent, again, has an LLM, it has a brain, it has a memory, and it has a couple of tools. So this agent is actually doing the response. It's meant to greet the user, send a message to welcome them, and then ask the questions, or ask if the user has any questions. Right, it's just continuing to manage the conversation, and it has a memory to see what the context of the conversation has been to this point. If the user requests to be called on the phone, there's a tool for the AI agent to initiate a phone call. Yes, we're using Vapi for this. And also, I want to be able to update my CRM. Like if some random person texts into the AI agent and I don't already have their name or other information stored in the CRM, this AI agent asks for the user's name. Here, this is the first message. Before we dive in, could you please tell me your name and the name of your business? Then, with that response, it uses the tool update contact to update the name in that contact. I will show you exactly how to build all of this stuff later on. But for now, again, it is a simple step-by-step process. If you were texting somebody and you didn't have their name and you figured out what their name is, you would save that contact, right? You'd put their name up in their little contact and save it. That's all this AI is doing. It's like, oh, okay, this is Johnny. I'm going to save Johnny's name. Now I'm going to respond to Johnny's text message. Cool. Again, this edit field is just to get the response from the AI agent and hold it. That's all. It's just an easy way for me to go find the output that this agent put out, the response. This step here is used to format the response in a way that is going to be able to reply back to the contact. When we're using an HTTP request, it is pretty particular about the formatting that you need to fill to be able to send that text back to the user without actually breaking the response, without it being an error because there is like a formatting issue. So if there's any quotations inside of an AI response, that's going to break the output. If there's any brackets like this, or like this, or like this, or there's paragraph spaces, any of that kind of stuff breaks the automation. So for the information extractor node, I'm literally just pulling out the main response and removing any sort of characters, any paragraph breaks, any quotation marks, anything that might break the response. That's what I'm using the information extractor for. And again, this is using OpenAI to think about, okay, well, where are the quotation marks? Where are the line breaks? Where are the paragraph breaks? What are the problem characters? I should remove those. And then we just respond. This is an HTTP request. This is sending information back to Go High Level. It says lead connector here, but that's just the system that Go High Level uses. This is simply sending a text message to Go High Level to respond to the person who texted in. I'll show you one of the fields here. right? There's a message type, and this is SMS or WhatsApp because you can respond on text or on WhatsApp. The contact ID is the contact that we need to respond to, and the message is the message we are responding with. This is what the AI agent said. This agent has an output. We reformat the output here, and then we respond. That is a step-by-step automation from a high level, right? I didn't actually build it here in front of you, but you should understand that this is just, okay, when one step happens, the next step happens. Here's another example. This one is also going to look pretty wicked. I promise it's not. It's just well thought out. Yay! So I use this tool here to send appointment booking links during a conversation with the AI. So the trigger is very, very similar. This time, this tool is connected to my Vapi voice AI agent. When Vapi uses the tool, it says, hey, we need to send the appointment link now. It's going to send the information to the tool. We'll catch it. We'll map that information into the appropriate fields just for easy location. Again, just so I can easily find the data, right? The body message, the phone number, that kind of information. I do have my calendar ID and location ID already mapped in here, just so it's easy for me to find and I don't have to go put it in manually in later steps on the node. I can just reference this field or this edit fields node in later steps in the automation. After Vapi sends the request to use the tool to send an appointment link, I want to find the contact that I need to send the appointment link to. I'm searching Go High Level for a contact that matches the phone number of the caller on Vapi. That is all this search is. Yep. Search my location for the contact's phone number. Now, if we do find a contact, it goes up to this switch node. The switch node is here to help me identify just one contact because for some reason, sometimes we might have multiple contacts that have the same phone number in the CRM. I don't do that, right? I don't allow duplicate contacts in my CRM because I don't want it to be complicated. I want everybody to only have one phone number, one contact with one phone number. But if for some reason it responded with multiple phone numbers or multiple contacts, I do need to do a little bit something different to manage that. And I'll walk you through that automation here in just a second as well. For the people who have a phone number in my contact or in my CRM already, and we found that contact and only one contact came back, right? I found one response. Now I just want to send them that text message. I want to send them the appointment link. All right, so here we are. It's another Go High Level sending message. And here is the message it's sending, right? It's going to determine it doesn't need to send via text message or WhatsApp. What is the contact ID? It found this from the search contacts node, and then it actually sends the link to schedule with me. Now, I have some error catchers here. This is literally just in case for some reason this node didn't send, whatever the reason might be. Usually it's like it didn't know whether it should send it via WhatsApp or SMS. If it breaks, it just goes to the next attempt, right? It goes to the next attempt, and this one is set to send an SMS. If that person can't receive a text message via SMS, this is going to break. So if it breaks, I send it to the next node. That's checking to see if the person can receive a message via WhatsApp. If the person can receive a message via WhatsApp, it's going to work. But if not, it's going to break. If it breaks, if it errors, I'm going to send a notification to myself using Twilio so that I can actually follow up with that person and say, hey, just wanted to make sure that you were able to schedule. No, you weren't? Okay, great, cool. I'll get you scheduled right now. So if all of the automations break, I'm just going to text myself and I'll follow up myself. That works. Now, the Vapi AI needs to know whether or not this automation worked. So again, I'm sending this text message during the conversation that's happening on the phone with the AI. So at the end of the automation, we are responding back to Vapi to say, hey, the message worked. You can respond. Great, I just sent the message. Could you check to make sure you received it? If it broke, I'm responding, oh, looks like we had some issues, but Trajan's going to reach back out to you. That message goes to Vapi, so Vapi knows to say, hey, it broke, Trajan will reach out, we'll be all right. That is all this automation is doing. It looks complicated, but it is not. It's just well thought through to make sure that no matter what happens, the user knows what to expect. Either they got a text message or Trajan's going to reach back out. Now, if the user that's talking to the AI, for some reason I don't already have them in my CRM, then when we search for the contacts, it's not going to put out a contact ID for me to map later to text people. Either the contact is not found or there were too many responses that came back, right? I got 2 or 3 responses. There are several contacts, and I don't know which one to send a message to. If that happens, we go down the contact not found path, and the only difference here, it is the same exact automation as these steps. The only difference is I'm creating a contact. I'm sending an HTTP request to go high level so that I can create a contact using the phone number of the user that's calling and their name, whatever name they gave to the AI, to create a contact in my CRM so that I can send them a text message. If this does not work for some reason, if this breaks, or if any of these other messages break, right, the text message or the WhatsApp message, if any of those don't work, I'm still just sending a notification to myself to say, hey, I saw that you tried to book an appointment, just wanted to reach out and get you on my calendar. Cool. Then we're going to respond to the AI in the same exact way. So this automation here and this series of automations here are the same thing. The only difference is I need to create a contact because I didn't already have that contact in my CRM. These things should work. But again, if they don't work, just in case, I have fallbacks. That's all it is. Now, if for some reason the search contact node doesn't work, if it breaks for some reason, like it just doesn't search, this shouldn't happen. But if it does happen, again, this is just in case. If I can't search the contacts for whatever reason, this doesn't work, then I'm going to do the same exact thing I did here. These 2 automations are literally identical. I'm going to create a contact, and then I'm going to send them the text message. That is all. If I can't create the contact, I'll send myself a notification and say, hey, I need to follow up with that person. This one is quite thorough. Like I am sending a bunch of information to myself, so I know exactly who messaged me, which AI they were talking to, what's their phone number, so I can just easily go find it real quick and send them a message myself. Again, it's coming from my AI agent. This is my AI agent's phone number. It's going to text me so that I can text the person. I can call the person. I can do whatever. So my goal here is when the AI uses the tool, so sends information to send a text message link, I'm going to check to see which contact I need to send the message to. Again, I'm just going to use the phone number of the caller from Vapi, and I'm going to send them a text message. So at its simplest, if everything works well on the first try, I get information from Vapi, I set the field so I can easily just map that information on the later steps in the node. I search my contacts for the contact ID that's associated with the phone number of the caller from Vapi. If I find that contact, then I'm going to send them a message. When I send them that message, I am, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm just sending a status. This is actually, I'm not even using this right now. I can delete that one. So this could go directly to the response. But if I wanted to get a status like, oh, it was complete, the message worked, that's what that was here for, but it's not necessary. When there's a message that gets sent and it works, the AI responds, great, I just received your message. Could you make sure that you received it? That's all. So in its simplest form, message comes in from Vapi, says, hey, you got to use this tool. We search the contact ID, or we search using the phone number for the contact ID. We find the contact. We reply with a message. We actually send the message. We take the action. And then we let Vapi know, hey, we sent the message, so Vapi can tell the person, hey, we sent the message, go check. That's the automation. This looks complicated. When you think about it step by step, it does not become that complicated. I have built hundreds of automations. It takes time It does take you thinking through a process step by step, but you can take a pen and paper and you can just write down what the process is that you would usually have to do manually, and you can set it up inside of an automation. If you are confused about this, you can literally go to the transcript of this conversation, copy it, paste it into Claude, and say, "Hey Claude, can you explain to me how to build this automation that Trajan is talking about? We're using N8N. Can you just walk me through it and help me figure it out?" And you'll figure it out. I promise. It will take time. It might take some debugging, but it is straightforward when you ask the right questions. Or if you reach out for the right support, right? Claude can help you. ChatGPT if you like it. I prefer Claude. But yeah, ask any questions about any of this stuff. Just tell Claude, "Hey, I'm using N8N. I want to build an automation to achieve this goal. Can you help me?" And he will help you. We will cover exactly how to set up tools inside of Vapi. Again, that is a whole video on its own. We will do a deep dive on that, but I just wanted to make sure you have an understanding of why we use N8N. You can also do this stuff in Make. Make works well as well. The reason I use N8N is because you can self-host N8N, and what that means is instead of paying the monthly prices to use N8N on the cloud, I put N8N on my local environment, so I just put it onto my actual laptop, and now I can run everything for free for unlimited executions. So I don't pay $20 a month. I'm not limited to just 2.5 thousand workflow executions. I'm not limited to only 5 active workflows. When you follow this documentation to self-host N8N, you get N8N for free. Now, one step after that is you do need to then put N8N on your own cloud. So it's pretty much, I am taking N8N, this is the cloud offering, I'm putting it onto my own local computer, and then I'm putting it onto my own cloud server so that I can still maintain the full functionality of N8N without the cost or the limitations. I pay $6 a month to use DigitalOcean. And this is the cloud provider I use. It costs $6, and I host N8N on it. N8N has the documentation. I'm going to do a video for the members in the program, step by step, exactly how to set that up for free. Self-hosting documents are here. I followed these documents and went back and forth with AI for I had to do it twice because I did it wrong the first time. I tried to set up on a Google Cloud server and it just didn't work for me. But when I did it with DigitalOcean, so all in all, it took me about 14 hours. But now that I know how to do it, I could redo it again in like an hour or two. Anyways, self-hosted N8N, and then I put it onto a DigitalOcean server. And all the documentation is here on N8N for how to do it. Copy all of this stuff, paste it in the Claude, ask Claude to help you step by step. I had to do some additional stuff to debug, so I will be putting the official version step by step into my program because I want to help you succeed without having to bang your head against the wall for 14 hours. I had fun. I did it. I know you can do it, but I'd like to make the process simpler for you. Groovy. Cool. That is N8N. We just jumped in and did a pretty thorough just review of some of the possibilities. Again, it looks complicated. It's really not. Once you start to build automations, it's just like setting up puzzle pieces, right? You just got to find where the right puzzle piece fits, set up your dominoes, knock them down. Life is groovy. If you don't want to spend hours and hours and hours and hours trying to figure this out on your own, Growth is Simple is for you. If you're an AI entrepreneur who wants to make your growth simple for your business and for your clients, I want to grow with you. We're happy to help. You need to be committed to taking action and building cool solutions. You need to be committed to making money on your own and taking responsibility for your financial success. You need to be willing to learn something new and try. But if you have a clear roadmap and you see the outcome, if you see your goals on the other end and exactly how you're going to get there, this stuff is so simple and it's fun and it's meant to be fun. If you want to work with an expert, I'd love to help you. Growth is Simple. Click the link in the description. and we'll help you out. If you're a business who needs automation or AI services, please also meet with me. You can also use the Growth is Simple link. I will hook you up with the appropriate resources or the appropriate partner who can help you out, because I have a lot of partners who love to build cool solutions, and I'd love to help you. Get in contact with them. Groovy. AI entrepreneurs, if you want to learn how to build cool solutions, service high ticket clients, and be valuable, Growth is Simple is for you. If you want to become a partner who can be referred to, Growth is Simple is for you. Businesses, particularly info product businesses, because I love to scale with you. Click the link, Growth is Simple, meet with me, I'll get you hooked up with a partner. That's how it works. I want to help clients find partners. I want to help partners find the skills to deliver to clients. That's what we're here for. I love you guys. Click the link, like, comment, subscribe, come back for more. We are going to build custom solutions in depth. You will actually get to see me build this from scratch if you subscribe and come back. We're building the coolest voice AI agents and AI agents in general. Like any agent you need to do anything, we can build it using the simple tech stack. Come back for more. I'll see you guys later. Be well. Enjoy your life. Go make some money. Make somebody happy today. You can just smile at somebody. It doesn't hurt. All right, guys. Peace. I knew voice AI was it. Like, I just knew. I've been watching AI for so long. I've been building other small solutions. You know, I'd played around with chatbots, but none of that felt valuable to me, and I couldn't convince myself that I could be any different than anybody else on the market. And that was just complete, like, that was crap. That wasn't a real. I was just afraid. And it's not about, like, convincing somebody to give you a bunch of money, right? Like, the Air licenses ended up going up in smoke, right? Air is not even a real player in the game at this point. And some might say, oh, well, you wasted $50,000. But no, I decided that this was it. This is all I can do. There's no plan B. There's no waiting around anymore. There's nobody who's going to teach me how to build voice AI agents, because there was no training when I started. And that's how it's going to keep going with AI. Like, there's going to always be a next cool product, a next cool platform that just came out that nobody knows about. And it takes you showing up to do it. It's going to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated, but you do have to show up consistently every day to keep building. When a problem comes up, because a problem is going to come up, one of your automations is going to break. The AI platform is not going to be all it built itself up to be, right? The guru you're following doesn't actually know what they say that they know. But you can't blame them. Like, you can't blame anybody else, because it's you. At this point, there are so many resources out there that are valuable, but it means nothing until you show up and do something with it. And I want you to do something with it, right? Like, it's painful to just watch. It's painful to just wait. It's frustrating to see everybody else take advantage of this opportunity and just still be in your same situation. But you are not going to change anything unless you change the way you are. Like, it's not going to be a tech that comes around and it's just like, oh, suddenly I can do it. No, like, you just have to show up. And I want to see you succeed. So you just need to know that, like, it's going to take you showing up. Nobody comes to save you. But you can do it. Right? At this point, there are roadmaps. There are proven systems for success. But if you don't take advantage, it's that first step that's the hardest. Like, the moment right before you take action, that is the most painful moment. When you've done all the research, you've watched all the videos, you've taken all the notes. It's like, now you just have to convince yourself that you can do it. Like, that is the part that's hard. It's not the actual doing it. Like, doing it is so easy once you just commit to doing it. Once you just say, hey, I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to build this business. I'm going to make 6 figures. I'm going to make 7 figures. I'm going to build the coolest products on the planet. Like money is great, but self-worth, feeling valuable, feeling like you can inspire people, like that's what you should care about. Feeling like you can change somebody's life, that's the gold right there. Like, it's you. It's you feeling like you are the one who can take care of yourself, that can take responsibility for your life. Everything else is just temporary. You know, you make your first 10,000, it's like, oh wow, this is awesome, but it fades. You make your first 50,000, it's like, wow, I really hit a benchmark. It fades. But if you can show up every day for yourself, if you can prove to yourself that you can be better today than you were yesterday, that's when this stuff actually starts to become fun. Like, it's hard to start. It's so hard to start. I know. But once you take action, it's like a weight that just gets released. Like, the pressure is just not so dense, right? Whenever you give yourself like an out, you're like, oh, it was this course that just wasn't right, or it was this platform that just didn't work, or like this person gave me bad advice. Like, you're sacrificing your power. Nobody can take your power from you, but you can give it up. So don't do that. Show up for yourself. Commit to building something awesome. Commit to inspiring people. Commit to actually caring about the people you work with. That makes all the difference. Every morning when you get up, like it might be a struggle. Oh, what am I going to work on today? Or, oh man, like, it's hard. I don't want to take sales calls. I don't want to cold call people. I don't want to send DMs. I don't want to post content. Really, all content is just like turning on your camera and being real, just being authentic, showing up because you actually care, and showing up for yourself. Like, I'm not here for people who want a get rich quick scheme. I'm not here for people who want a side hustle. I'm not here for passive income. Like, I'm here to inspire you to be the best that you can be, to show up every day for yourself. And through that, through true care and conviction, you will make your money. You will make your impact. You will take responsibility for your life. But you need to do it. It's not me. I can't build your business for you. I can give you all the roadmaps. I can give you the systems. I can give you the templates. I can give you the training. I can show up every day and say, hey, wake up. It's time to get to it. But you have to do it. And I want to see you win. I don't want to see you just like watching another YouTube video. I don't want to see you just scrolling through my channel. I don't want to see you scrolling through anybody's channels. Like, I want to see you show up and commit. Add value to a community. There are so many AI communities out here where you can be adding value, where you can be asking questions. But if you ask a question and don't take action, it was pointless. If you go ask somebody for help and then you don't commit to investing in yourself, time, energy, money, resources, right? You have to show up with investments. You have to pour into yourself. And that looks like buying a new program. That looks like buying the software and not waiting for proof that somebody else can convince you that you can show up. You're never going to know until you do it. Like, and I know that. I know the hard truth of that. Like, it'll never happen until you do it. No matter how well a system is mapped out, no matter how many testimonials somebody shows you, like, you need to convince yourself. Nobody is here to convince you. It just doesn't happen. Like, if you don't believe in it, it's not about believing in somebody else. It's about believing in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, like, nothing happens. If you can't take that first step, you're never gonna succeed, because you're never gonna build momentum. One step leads to 2 steps. 2 steps leads to 10. 10 steps leads to a mile. I've spent 3,600 hours building AI agents. That would have never happened if I didn't make the first step. That $50,000, nothing came of it. Like, that's not right. I met really great people. I built a really great community, but I had to teach myself the systems. I had to show up every day and bang my head up against the wall. And I want to make it easier for you. I want to give you the training. Like, you can watch these YouTubes. I'm not saying never watch a training again. I'm not saying never buy a program. But once you watch the training, do something about it. Once you buy the program, commit to it. Once you seek out consultation, once I give you a roadmap, bro, you got to go do something. Don't just sit on your heels and wait, because you're going to miss the opportunity. The game is constantly changing. And if you don't get the momentum to stay up at the front and see where it's going to go, like following from the back, you're going to end up following the wrong person because you're following them instead of leading yourself. Yes, we are here to inspire you. If you're not already making money with AI, there are people who are here who genuinely want to inspire you to be successful. So take the inspiration and run with it. Run with it. Run with it. You gotta go. Because, dude, waiting fucking sucks. Just like sitting around and just like thinking, oh, this is the next chance. Like, it doesn't come. And that's the hard truth of it. Nobody's gonna show up and run your business. Nobody's gonna inspire you more than you inspire yourself. Like, I've been so blessed because people believed in me, but they didn't believe in me until I believed in myself. And they're not going to believe in you until you believe in yourself. And you can do it. You are worth it. You are valuable. You are loved. You are cared for. You are here for a reason. You have purpose. You didn't just pop up here for nothing. You're not watching this YouTube video because, like, you don't care. Like, I know you're here because you care about yourself. If you've made this point, it's because you can do it. Take some action on it. Literally just ask AI, dude. Like, when anybody comes and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do, or I don't have a roadmap, or it's just like, this person led me astray. Everything that you need to learn, you can ask AI how to do it. Like, if you want to be an AI entrepreneur, you should be leveraging AI as much as possible. Ask AI to help build a business model with you. Ask AI how to scale your business. Ask AI how to start. Ask AI what kind of content you need to be posting. Ask AI how to find your purpose, honestly, dude. Like, AI is a sounding board that just multiplies whatever you pour into it. So if you pour into AI, if you're like, hey, like, we're going to go back and forth until we really nail down my why. Like, why am I showing up to do this every day? What is the outcome that I want to see? What kind of lifestyle do I want to lead? AI will show up right there with you. More than I can. Like, I can show up on YouTube videos. I can show up on coaching calls. I can give you the program. But AI is there right next to you every day, all the time. It's all what you have. A phone, it's in your pocket. You have a laptop, it's right there on the screen. You got a public library near you. You're watching this somehow, so I know that you have access. And I know that you want it. Stop thinking, start doing, because if you keep thinking, you're just going to keep yourself in that cycle. Oh, I have to wait. Oh, it's not perfect. Dude, perfection, oh my God, it's the killer of success. If you wait to be perfect, you're never gonna do anything. You can try to be the best you can be. You can try to build the best products on the planet. You can try to inspire millions of people. And I know you'll see success because that's all I try to do. And I'm not trying to tell you that because I can do it, you can too. But the truth is, I came from the struggle. I came from the waiting. I came from the broke. I came from the nothing, bro. But I said, I'm trying not to curse. I said, forget that. That's just fear inside holding us back. And there's a lot of things to be afraid of if you choose to be afraid. But what is really inspiring is, in spite of the fear, you still show up. You do it anyways. You prove to yourself that nothing can stop me. Nothing can hold me back. You are your biggest challenge. You got to get out of your own way. Push that sucker over. The one that's afraid, bro, get out of here. I'm showing up today. I'm posting content today. I'm going to spend the next 8 hours working on AI. I'm going to build an automation. Honestly, dude, don't even think about what you have to build for other people. Think about what would be valuable to you. What are you missing in your business? Oh, you're missing a roadmap? Work with AI until you get a roadmap. Okay, you don't know how to build the automation? Work with AI until you can successfully build that automation. You don't know how to get clients? Okay, start posting content. Work with AI to post content. You don't know where to find leads? Go buy a lead list and start calling them. Set up emails. Email them. Forget the emails. Like if you're waiting because you think you need a better system, bro, your phone is your best system you can have. You can go find phone numbers on the internet and you can call them right now. Show up for yourself so you can show up for others. Inspire yourself so you can inspire the world. Build solutions that you find valuable, that you know this is it. This is the difference. And other people will feel that from you. You don't even have to say anything, just the way you show up. Once you have built something for yourself, like, there's no confusion, there's no hesitation, there's no worry that, oh, this might not work. Like, no, you use it for yourself. You've built something for yourself. You know it's valuable because you find value from it. You need to get to the point where you can take enough action that you are proving to yourself that you got it. You're the best. There's nobody who can beat you. And even if there is somebody who can beat you, you're willing to show up and outproduce them, outwork them, build something even better. Like, people say, oh, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. I hate that. Because if you don't feel like you can make the wheel better, you're never going to make the next thing that somebody's like, oh, this is the new wheel, right? You're never going to build the next coolest product. I take inspiration from what I see, but then I make it better. Progress would have never happened. We'd still be riding wagons. The car would have never come out. We would have never flown. We'd never see hovercrafts. It takes you showing up and being willing to push yourself and proving that you can be the best. You can be the best for you. You can make an investment and you'll be darned if you don't show up and make the most of it. You can invest $500 because you're going to turn it into 5,000. You can invest 5,000 because you're going to turn it into 50. You can invest $50,000 and turn it into 5 million. I swear. But no matter how much I tell you, nothing happens until you do it. So at this point, like, comment, subscribe, because that is action, but that is not enough. Watch another YouTube video, that's not enough. Like, I could tell you, come follow me. It's not enough. Lead yourself. Yes, I have a program where I will give you the systems. I will give you the roadmap. If you don't follow it, if you don't believe in yourself first, it means nothing. It is worth $0. It is worth nada. And that's obviously a sign that this video is done, because now my phone is falling from where it once was. I love you. I care about you, and I want to see you succeed. I don't want to see you have to sit in that cycle of just like waiting for something to change, because I was there and it hurts. And now I have a company that I am excited to show up for every day. I have clients that I love to work with. I inspire people, and it just makes me feel like it was all worth it. I look back at the version of me that was like afraid, and I obviously, like, it just makes me want to cry. And then do something about it, and then just show up so that I never feel that way again. I never feel like I'm just waiting for somebody else to like to just do what I need to do myself, bro. I am the only one who is the master of my success. I am the only one who can control my reality. I'm the only one who can produce an outcome. And I swear on my life, I am going to be the one that builds the best products. I can outwork anybody. I can outproduce anybody. I can care more than anybody can care. Because I believe in myself. I believe in the work I've done. But I wouldn't have anything to believe in if I never did the work. That's it. I love you. If you believe in yourself, and if you've gotten that in your head, if you know that, like, okay, I'm ready to invest, I'm ready to commit, I'm ready to take action, I'm ready to work with other people who want to take action, bro, then you are a fit for the Growth is Simple program. Before that, it's worthless. It is worthless. If you don't believe in yourself, it's all worthless. There's no need to show up to a call. But if you believe in yourself and you know, hey, I'm going to take this action and I am not turning back until I have proven to everybody and myself that I am the shit, that I have the coolest product, that I know, that I care, that I can change your life. Like, if you don't show up with that kind of conviction, not worth it. Not worth it. Because the tech is going to keep changing. You're going to stumble on a roadblock, and you're just not going to have the will to pick yourself up. Hard truth. But if you know that you can inspire the world, if you know that you can show up for yourself, bro, I want to work with you. I want to grow with you. Because you inspire me, bro. When you show up and take action, you find a problem, then find a solution, bro. I want to grow with you. I want to see you win. There's too much business out here for me to take by myself, and I can't. I promise you, I cannot take it all by myself. I can take a lot. I can do a lot with AI at this point. But I want to share the love with you, dude. I want to share the wealth with you. I want to see you win. So once you believe in yourself, once you're willing to take action, once you stop waiting, then come join the program, bro. Because we can all win together. It's going to be the strongest team that wins. It's not one person who can take the whole market. But it's a network of us that are working together to grow together. Because we all see that there's plenty of opportunity to show up for ourselves, to win ourselves, to inspire ourselves, to make all the money ourselves, that we're willing to help others do the same thing. Like, I'm not afraid to share as much value as possible here on YouTube, because I know that you can get the ball rolling for free. But if you really want to win, like, you're gonna need a team, right? You're gonna need it's being in the environment that's conducive for success. Like, you need to be around people who are also winning, who also have the mindset of, like, I'm going to take action today. I'm going to take action this week. I'm going to take action this month. I'm going to dedicate this year to building the best company possible. I'm going to dedicate the next 5 years to growing and growing and growing. I'm going to inspire millions of people in the next 10 years. I'm going to run the best AI company the world has ever seen. You can do it. All right. I love you. Growth is simple. I'll see you guys tomorrow. There will be more tech stuff after this, I promise. But all of the tech tutorials, all of the resources, it means nothing without you. You are so valuable. You are required to see success. If you were worthless, bro, it wouldn't matter if you showed up or not. But you are valuable. It all starts with you. All right. Peace.